So welcome, Seb, to the Car Chat podcast.
It helps if you know the name yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the podcast. And then if I just call it the podcast, I can change the name whenever I like.
Yeah. I mean, that makes it easy. That makes it pretty easy.
So at the moment we are recording.
We're live. It's a very serious. You guys can't really see what I'm seeing, but it's a very serious setup.
Well, you will be able. Yeah.
Well, like what I'm looking at from the camera's perspective.
That's true.
I mean, you can see what I'm seeing in terms of this.
You can see me over here, or a nice close up from this camera.
Yeah.
There's true. Basically what we've got now is we're in my lounge, and there's like a whole bunch of GoPros with cables plugged into them, so they hopefully don't burn out of battery.
Oh God, yeah, I've just seen. Yeah, you've got all the. What God, yeah, you're very set up.
Because like a GoPro runs for about an hour and a half, something like that.
Something like that.
Like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
And you've got enough memory in them.
They've got enough memory, and but I've had it before where one of them just cuts out 10 minutes before the end, which is unbelievably annoying.
Yeah.
But I've also got my phone recording backup audio.
Oh, wow! And all of these boxes. I mean, I haven't the faintest clue of what any of these are doing.
Oh, so I'll give you a little explanation. This is completely unrelated for everyone.
Yeah, but welcome to the. This is if you guys want to set up your own podcast, this could actually be interesting.
Yeah, so we've got my laptop over here. You might be able to just see the corner of it from one of the GoPros. In front of my laptop, there's the cables which plug into the mics. Goes into like basically a little box that translates that signal to your laptop.
Yeah.
So you do. I used to have all the mics coming in from different cables, so they were USB mics or whatever.
Yeah.
But they don't sync very well. And it's difficult to get the levels and stuff like that. So now it's just that. And then there's a little box in front of Seb, which is what our headphones are plugged into.
I see.
And it's basically like a little amplifier, like a big splitter.
That allows us to hear ourselves.
Yeah. It would be really good if you were on a plane or something and you want to listen to the same stuff. That would be that ideal. Sort of thing would be great.
And these headphones are amazing. We were just talking about how I feel like my voice sounds very different in these headphones to how it sounds like when I'm speaking.
I was saying, well, yeah, when you're normally recording a video, you've got an on-camera mic or something like that, and it doesn't pick up the real, like the full spectrum of your voice because of the background noise and whatever.
Whereas this is legit. I'm just gonna have a sip of my tea. So
anyway, we're here with Seb Delanney, who is a
hello.
What would you say you are? YouTuber?
Yeah, YouTuber and just Seb, French guy.
Seb,
that's
French
how I describe
guy.
myself. I'm a French guy YouTuber. Yeah.
Now, we first met a long time ago. I was trying to think how old you must have been when we first met, and I reckon you were probably 16.
I think I was younger.
You might have been younger.
I think I maybe told you. It
sounds weird now. Oh yeah.
To pretend like
so you can get in my car.
Yeah, exactly. I honestly think I started YouTube videos when I was 13, and it was not long after that I met you.
Wow.
And Tim and everyone. And so I think I was probably 14, 15.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure I had a driving license then.
I don't think.
I might not have.
Tim did.
Tim definitely did,
but you didn't.
I didn't get a license till I was 22.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's super late.
That's how old I am now. I'm 22. There you go.
Times change.
I know they do, right? Yeah, but I was young. I was a little baby back then. But we met. Where was the first place we met? In Monaco?
It would have been in Monaco. Basically,
Top Marks.
Way back then, we used to go down a bunch of people like Tim, myself, a bunch of other people to sort of go and hang out and look at crazy cars.
Yeah.
Tim was making videos at the time. I don't know
the Aston. Or before
it was way before then. Maybe he definitely took that.
Yeah.
I wonder if there was anything before then.
I think it was the S5. You didn't have because I remember I already knew you. We'd already met a few times when you got your Boxster.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think when we first met, maybe I just started driving or that sort of. I had my Audi
already at that time.
But yeah, we just sort of used to hang out on street corners watching
back in the day,
Zondas drive past.
Which, to be fair, we still I still do sometimes. I don't know if you still hang out on street corners to watch cars go by, but
I do sometimes in London. Yeah. Just sit and have a coffee and watch the world go past.
The best thing about being a car guy is if anyone's late to a meeting, if you're in central London, I'm like, I don't really care. Like, I'll just
go for a wander
and go car spotting. So someone's like, yeah, I'm half an hour late. I'm like, brilliant. I'm going to find an Aventador. I'll be right back.
He's like, oh, just wait 3 seconds.
Yeah. One comes by. Brilliant.
I remember early in the days, probably early when we knew each other, One of the guys, it was Marketing, I think, or
Alex
Smolik. Yes, he was.
Just came out of nowhere.
This is who I was thinking of. He's a French YouTuber. Called Alex Smolik.
Yeah, really, really, really nice guy.
Like the nicest guy ever. Yeah. But he was really good at picking up car noises.
His knowledge is absurd. So he does this thing. In French YouTube world, it's big, where he does recaps of what's going on in the car world. I think it's once a week or something like that. And I genuinely, that's where I learn everything about what's happening in the car world, because he comes out with info. I'm like, how do you know this, Alex? It's as if he's literally an employee for every car company and gets the scoop.
Gets all the juicy info.
Yeah.
That's really good. He, because he had an English channel just filming cars, like normal YouTuber type stuff. And then was he the first one really to sort of do a French one, or
no? He started a year and a half ago.
Oh, right.
So he had the English one. I'm gonna put my tea down. He had the English one, and then that started doing less well because English YouTube got super saturated. Basically, there were so many people.
Everyone moved to London.
Everyone moved
to film daily vlogs.
But everyone moved to London. There were so many people doing English YouTube, and so everyone's views as a whole started to go down. I think we both experienced it.
Yeah.
And so then he started doing French YouTube a year and a half later. Basically, my entire career is built on following Alex Smolik's moves. He started English YouTube. I started English YouTube. He did French. I did French. But no, I mean, his French stuff is doing really, really well now. He's on like 20K subscribers in a year, which is pretty strong.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's doing well.
Well, yeah, check him out if you're French and listening. Or you probably already know who he is.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a really nice guy.
He's like one of the like I always say, Tim, Paul, Marketing, Alex Smolik are like the grandfathers of car YouTube spotting.
For sure.
That makes sense. I think so. And you're pretty far up there as well, because you've been around.
I've just been around for a long time.
Yeah,
just haven't gained any followers.
Shit. Yeah. Can we swear on this podcast, by the way?
You can.
Okay. But not like,
I mean, yeah, just don't unload for any particular, like just for no reason. But if you feel really expressive about something, you can.
I can go for it.
You can really lay it.
I'm gonna wait for the right moment and just whack one in. Yeah.
So you started what made you start filming? Was it like just seeing Tim?
No. It was by accident. I started filming because I had a lot of friends, and like my cousins really like cars and they lived in England and I lived in the south of France, and I had a really good friend. My best childhood friend is actually called Seb as well, and looks really like, everyone thinks we're identical twins. But so he really liked cars, moved to England, and other friends. So I decided to put videos up online so they could see the cars that I was seeing, right? To share it with them. Because back in the day, you didn't really have like WeTransfer to send them stuff and things like that. And I also ran out of memory on my iPod Touch that I was filming at the time.
Classic.
So I was like, I'll just store it on YouTube. So started doing that. Then I saw Tim, who was the first to really start vlogging, who turned the camera around. And I thought, wow, I'll have a go at that. Did that. And then, and then I helped Tim with his videos for a while. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
So I was like, helping Tim film a lot of his videos, and even did some of the editing, not much, but for a little while.
Did you learn a lot in that?
I learned tons. Like Tim, I has taught me so much in terms of making videos, but also, how to be on camera and all of these things. He has taught me a lot. And I think the whole group of you guys, again, the Paul, Alex, you, Tim, everyone, because I was so young, I didn't really know what I was doing. So I kind of shaped everything I was doing around what you guys are up to. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's quite funny. We also just go and like once a year go to Monaco for top marks and hang out. And this little 14-year-old kid would like come and hang out.
Yeah.
And it was like the most tame of things.
Yeah.
Everyone would just sit in an apartment and people would be like editing photos, editing videos, chatting.
Yeah.
Like,
it was good.
It wasn't really drinking.
Good,
it's pretty chilled.
Yeah, it was chilled. Which was perfect for me because I wouldn't have been able to join.
Yeah,
if you guys were going out, I'd have been like, oh, damn. I'm
we
12.
could have ditched you pretty easily.
Yeah.
Just walk into
when
a
I
bar.
think back on it now, I'm like, you guys were so cool to allow me to be with you.
Still allow you to come along.
Yeah, exactly. But I was 14 at the time. You guys were, quite a bit older, so it was really chill of you guys. So thanks. Now,
oh yeah,
like 9
to
years
all those
later
people
or whatever. Yeah,
it is funny how everyone that was there, is still like massively in it or
pretty much.
on it.
I think it surprised all of us how much it ended up not blowing up, but if someone would have said that each video there was potential for it to get over 100,000 views or something, now it's nuts. Because back then I remember if someone got 100,000 views, we were like, oh my God.
Yeah, that had been on the front page of
the
everywhere. Times or something.
Yeah, if you got over 100,000 views back then, you were like Kanye West or someone. You were basically
exactly.
made it. So it's absurd. Like we've had to recalibrate our notion of what's normal or not. We were talking about it earlier when I just arrived here. Like, when people say, oh, a video got 2,000 views or 1,000 views or, and are like, yeah, it didn't perform that well. When you think about 2,000 people, or back in the day when we got 2,000 views, that was huge. I think I made videos for 3 years, maybe 4 years before I had a video of 1,000 views.
Really?
Yeah. So, which everyone, they say, oh yeah, it just sort of blew up like that.
I got I got skewed because I think my first ever video on YouTube, not quite my first ever video, but the first car related one was like I just got my RS3 and did a video with the RS3, and the car had just come out, so it was popular.
I watched this.
And that video got like 60,000 views. And I was like, this is my first video.
I've made it. Yeah. You were like, brilliant.
And then I did the second video and it got like 500. You're like, oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
So, well, the thing is also all the algorithms have changed, right? So now it used to be so content related. If you had good content, people enjoyed the content, you would sort of go up. Now it's just title thumbnail, which is annoying because it means that, if you are actually living off this or you need the money from it or whatever, you need to have a clickable title and thumbnail. But there's a very fine line between it being, okay, it's clickable, but it's fair.
Yeah.
And clickbait.
Absolute rubbish.
And that's what's tricky to find, and you can piss a lot of people off.
Oh yeah, I think if I had to say the number one reason for, hate is a strong word, but disliking certain YouTubers, it's complete clickbait titles. Yeah. And my main reason for that is if your title is, I don't know, like I drifted 15 Chirons into a tree and they set on fire and Ferrari HQ exploded or
with
something.
With cash.
Yeah, with cash.
You put with cash in there, it always does well.
And that video title's out there and everyone's like, this is rubbish.
Yeah.
If someone just so happens to drift 15 Chirons into a tree and explodes with cash, and they actually are holding cash and all this sort of stuff, no one believes it, and that video becomes null and void. So obviously that's a bit of an overblown example, but you could say drifting a blah, 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 and someone will have a video that's drifting and it's just parked in a car park.
Well, that's like, I went to Silverstone last week, or this weekend, and we went out in a Performante around Silverstone. And I was like, just call, when we were thinking about titles, I was like, just call it Performante around Silverstone.
Yeah.
Then we were like, well, that's never going to do well. And I was like, since when does taking a Lamborghini around Silverstone, since when is that not interesting?
Yeah.
So it ended up having to be called, we did 300 kilometers an hour in a Lamborghini, which was true though. We did actually do 300. So that worked.
It's tricky, isn't it? And then I think there's that balance between getting something that's immediately clickable versus something that's searchable later down the line.
Yeah, there's subscriber clickable, and then there's reaching out to non-subscribers as well. So you can have a video which will be, about you personally, which will really appeal to all your subscribers.
No one else cares.
So then you need to also, what a lot of people do, I've never really, I don't know if you've done this. I know a few people in the industry who do. They'll put a title which is subscriber friendly for the first day, change it, and then it becomes, which I guess is smart, but I don't know if it works or not.
I haven't done that, but it's definitely probably a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. And that's what's changed also. People are running these channels as a business now.
100%.
Whereas before, we were just all having a good time.
Yeah. And
I mean, not to say that one's better or worse. It's just, it's changed.
Yeah. And I always remember Tim from like way back. He'd be like, YouTube have changed their algorithm. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I've been looking at the data. Like, first of all, what are you talking about now? Yeah. And he'd be like for 2 hours a day, looking at all the data, running stats and doing stuff.
Well, that's a success though.
And then that's his thing. And then you'd be like, oh, okay. So now I just skip all that. Yeah. And if I'm around Tim, be like, so what's the latest crack?
When you're friends with Tim, it makes everything easier because you literally just, oh, my views went down yesterday, pick up the phone, call him, be like, what do I have to do? Okay, cool. And then
he's like, make better content.
I know. You're like, damn it, Tim. But the thing, he is such, like, everyone knows it. Everyone talks about it, about how hard he works. But but it's unreal. Is it still recording?
Yeah.
We're good to go. It's because he does study the algorithms. Not only that, he's making I don't know how many videos every day, pretty much, and good videos with incredible cars. He's traveling around the world. I'm going on a bit of a Tim Wren right now, but it's insane.
It's crazy.
From someone who does it, from both of us, when you look at what he's doing from the outside world, maybe doesn't look like that much. But when we know the work that goes into it, I don't know how he does it.
So at the moment, you transitioned to doing daily French vlogs.
Yeah.
Have you sort of axed the English channel?
No, so I didn't really know what to do. So the English channel, the views went down. But at the end of the day, I didn't really care. The views have been going down for 2 years. And I was like, look, it sucks that the views are going down, not going to lie. But also, so I've been working on other projects alongside, so I was less dependent on it. And I ended up making videos that I wasn't enjoying making as much. And when I sort of got this new opportunity to try again with the French world and sort of start from scratch and not have to constantly being fighting, let's say, rumors or things that had been said, like I kind of had to do on the English channel, I could start from scratch on the French, and I love that. So I've been making a ton of videos on there, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, right, how am I going to come back to make English videos, not caring about the views at all, just what I want to make and how I want to make it. So, I'm going to do an update video, I think, this weekend. And I think the aim, there's 2 ways I'm going to go. One is either doing really cool recap videos of like every week. So we do daily vlogs on the French one, and every week a recap on the English one.
Okay, yeah.
Just because I think we can then make it really, really cool. Because, if you just take 10 minutes of the best footage of 7 daily vlogs.
Like the John Olsen, what he's doing now.
Yeah, something like that. You can make it really cool, narrated, and I kind of want to make everyone like a mini documentary type thing. Just because from like a creator's perspective, I think that'd be really fun and I'd enjoy doing it. Or doing once a week or once every 2 weeks project videos, which are English channel only. Yeah. But things like how to set up a car show in 24 hours or like, proper, project videos. Those are the 2 ways I want to go. Whether they get views or not, we'll see. But it's more just, I think I would enjoy doing that a lot.
Yeah, I think because like, let's say you're saying your English channel's declined or sort of declined over. I remember sort of thinking, well, I also just felt like you weren't enjoying it. Yeah. And you were just making videos for the sake of making videos, which, like if you have said you're going to make videos once a month or once a week or once a day, you sort of have to do it. But then after a certain amount of time, it seemed like you'd hit a real burnout point.
I had. And then it's like, one, you've committed to videos, but I had done that sort of a year ago, whatever. I'd committed to making a certain amount of videos, but then I wasn't. I was making them really just once in a while, but it's a lot of, there's a lot of pressure that goes behind it because it was the thing that I started off doing. Now I've got these other projects, but they came later. I've got family, friends, and brands who are constantly like make videos, right? So it was myself putting pressure to just put out these videos, but also a lot of pressure coming from around. Yeah. So that's why I just ended up filming videos, kind of just to be like, okay, everyone chill out. Here's a video, have it. But I didn't really, now I go back and I watch them, like, why did I put those out? Because they're not really the standard that I want to put out there. But they're there now. And that's what I really want to change. Because now, no one can say I'm not putting out videos, right? Because I'm doing one a day on the French channel. And I just really want the English channel to be a no pressure. If I want to swear, if I want to film, like, I don't really care about it being brandable or anything. I just want to make stuff that I really enjoy. And if people enjoy it too, great. If they don't, then so be it. And that's kind of the way I'm going with it now. Because, there's a decent following on there. Nothing huge at the end of the day in the industry we're in. It's nothing massive. But that, I just want to make really enjoyable content, which challenges me as well. Because that's where it started. Like, YouTube was always a challenge, making these videos, finding the content. It was always and then it kind of became such a routine and almost easy to get the content that I want to go back and make it challenging as well. And I think people will see that. They're quite discerning, the audience. So they'll know.
People know when you're actually having fun and actually enjoying yourself.
If you're churning or enjoying,
Yeah. And obviously there is a fine balance between, you've said that you're going to do a video a day. So you've got to think of something a day.
Yeah.
How is that going? Because that to me sounds, well, I know you now have a filmer
Yeah, so I got a guy Cole.
That help?
He films, he edits. That helps. But then it's mainly the fact that the people are interested in not just the cars on the French channel. So I can film, going to film a podcast with Sam, and people like that too. So that helps a lot. Because if it's just cars, then you get into this weird spiral of, constantly looking for cars, constantly trying to get content. And that's not healthy. Whereas if you just make it like, look, I'm going to make a video a day. It could be about, yesterday I did one about searching for houses.
Yeah.
And more just about your personal life. And whether it's also, so I've been starting up these different businesses and I bring people along. I say, these are the steps of the businesses. If we're looking for investment, we're doing that. So every day I don't plan my day around the content I'm making. I plan the content around the day I'm having.
Yeah.
And I think that makes a big difference.
Yeah, that's a huge difference, being able to separate from just car. Like, just car content is interesting if you're doing something really crazily interesting.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time it's not that interesting, or doesn't necessarily seem interesting. Like I don't find much stuff interesting anymore. That sounds like I don't enjoy car stuff, but if someone says, oh, there is a Chiron, cool. I've seen like 10.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
So that's not, I can't be excited about that.
Yeah.
But if I'm watching content from other creators, I am much more interested in someone's like personality and how they interpret whatever it is. And you basically, I'm following the person. I'm not really following the content.
Yeah. Well, that's the change that I think we've had over the last few years, where before it was all about the content. Most of the content we were making had never been done before. But now, new RS6 goes out. You're going to make the same videos you made with the last RS6. Everything's been done. So if you are like just yourself and you don't worry too much about the content, in the end of the day, it's actually better, I think, for your audience retention or whatever. And I know exactly what you mean. And before, people just watch your videos for the car or what it was, whereas now people get addicted more to your personality.
You've got to sneak them in. You've got to get them to watch a few videos before they go like, I like this person or I hate them.
And then the thing is, I think it's so easy to see when someone's being not themselves. It's so easy. So I think people can really tell. So if you're trying to be, there's a lot of people who like try and be supercar collectors or whatever, whereas there's different stories behind, or try and be a journalist reviewer, whereas that's not your background, whatever. It's very easy to spot. Like, I got a bunch of followers when I was younger, but then I grew up, right? I changed quite a bit, but I kept the same personality online as I did when I was 18, but I was 21. So I had evolved so much, but I knew that what was getting views was how I was when I was 18.
So what was the split? Like,
it was
how
just
do you describe
more
the
like,
change between you at 18 and you now?
Yeah, just more like, just far more mature. I think like I was I was an idiot back then.
Not hard.
Yeah, exactly. Not hard to achieve. No, but yeah, it was being more mature, being less, sort of too over the top about everything, like super excited. The titles were a bit harsh sometimes, like things like that. And what interests me has changed. And I think people could tell that what used to interest me in terms of, maybe either the spotting or like this car is nuts, whatever, interested me tons back then, still does now, but less so. And I was almost acting how much that interested me now. Whereas now I'm more interested in, right, what are the right investments? How can I grow as a person? How can I grow these businesses around the car world to then, be able to benefit personally, but benefit, for people around me and things like that. It's just, everything's kind of changed. And that's what I've said on the French channel. I came on and I said, guys, like, sometimes I'm going to be in a really good mood. Sometimes I'm going to be in a bad mood, but I'm just going to be completely blunt and honest with you guys half the time. And if you enjoy it, fantastic. And I think also my positioning's changed, where I used to only do YouTube. So I was like completely relying on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Like that was how I traveled.
Big highs, big lows.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so hard because it's up, down, up, down. And, I was 18. All my mates were at uni. I had no one really to talk to about what I was doing, right? And we were earning not crazy amounts, but like more than I'd ever, been exposed to before. So I had no clue what to do with it. So that was a bit of an unhealthy situation as well, because I was living alone as well, alone, making enough to be able to do whatever you want to do, and being self-employed, but 18 and having no one to talk to. It was just a slippery slope to go down. So I think now I've learned and I've got a much more solid position to go into. And that's why I'm just being completely honest with it all.
Yeah, I think there is definitely this massive pressure on YouTube to be this crazily happy, like buzzing person, which works. Like that does work.
That's the thing, it works. And when you're relying on it financially, you have to be that person all the time, because or else you're not going to make your rent, or you're not going to, so it's tricky. Whereas if you build things aside and you're literally just making YouTube for fun, so much easier to be yourself, because you're like, whatever, if this doesn't get views, I'm not in it for the financials.
Yeah, and it's not going to be, at the end of the day, if it's not that interesting, just don't film it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like now you can actually have the luxury of binning videos. Is actually an incredible luxury to have. Like go film a video and be like, yeah, this isn't quite
this isn't working. Just can it and just enjoy whatever you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best. I mean, I think I've maybe canned in the last 6 months, like 25% of the videos I've made for the English channel. Because now I'm I feel like I can do that. So it's a nice
place to be.
Yeah. So, and maybe they would have gotten views, but they just weren't worth putting up, I think.
Yeah. And I think you, at some point in time, you've learned that you actually have to sort of look after yourself a bit.
Yeah.
Versus just, living for your audience.
Yeah. Your mental stability, even just your like health as a whole. Because, if you're making a video a day or whatever, every 2 days, it's so much, it's so intense that you forget to eat, you forget to spend time with your mates, with your family, like all this stuff. And look, there's a lot of jobs like that. If you work in banking, right? Like you'll be working from 8 till 2. So it's not, it's not new that this is the way it is, but there's definitely a hidden facade of YouTube and being a YouTuber that I don't think people necessarily really see.
Yeah. I think we're seeing a lot more about it now that people are talking about mental health and stuff like that it's a great position to be in.
Yeah.
But if you are, like you were saying, if you're solely dependent, and a lot of people who do it are solely dependent on their YouTube is punishing in terms of the good and the bad, in terms of when they pay you. And it's not extremes. Necessarily, the problem is it's not based on whether you've done good stuff. So you might make a rubbish video, but it just so happens to click with the algorithm and that makes you loads of money.
Yeah.
Whereas you might spend 5 weeks making a video that you just like put your heart and soul into,
and it doesn't,
and it just tanks.
Team Galag, like I mean, the amount of effort we put into those videos, and I mean, they do well. They've got 3, I think the most views, the Desert Tour episode 1 is on like 9K, something like that. But I mean, that took so long to edit and film. But yeah, but I see exactly what you mean in terms of YouTube's got very big sort of ups and very, big down. It's so fluctuant that it's hard to rely on. And also people are young most of the time when they do it. In the car world, I think less so than in, gaming or any stuff like that. Most of the people are fairly mature.
You kind of have to have a driving license.
Yeah, you kind of have to have a driving, exactly. So it makes, and have experience driving these cars.
Yeah.
But so yeah, it's just hard to swallow when you don't know what's coming. And then you can, if you get like 3 brand deals in 1 month or whatever, you can be like, whoa, fantastic. Yeah. And then the next month, nothing. None of your videos get views, no brand deals, and it's so unpredictable and it's tricky.
How have you found managing that side of it going forward in terms of that aspect? So you've got do you have some companies that you regularly work with now and you try and plan stuff over like a longer period of time? Or do you still, a marketing company reaches out and this is the gig, do you want to do it? Yes, no?
Both. So we've got some brands that we'll work with regularly. And you can kind of, you can count on that coming in. But then there's a lot that just pop out of nowhere and it's literally like, do you want to do this next week? And usually those ones have big budgets.
Why is it always next week? Why is it not 3 months time?
3 months. Yeah, I know. But this is the thing. Like, and then sometimes you've planned something, you get this huge offer that comes in and you're like, I can't do that because I've planned. But the way I've developed sort of my life and financials is now, so I've got separate projects and I know every month stuff is coming in. So, I've done it so that my rent can be funded by anything that's not YouTube, and anything that's YouTube, I either reinvest into those businesses or put in savings for, a car or a house. So
I've got some more of the other sort of questions, but since you brought it up, and I've I did a little thing on my Instagram saying, "Have we got any questions for Seb?" I'll read out one of them from @thecarubber.
Oh boy,
he just said, "Desperate times."
Fantastic. We both know him.
Hey Talal.
Yeah, hi Talal. Desperate times.
No, that was just because I got you on the podcast and he wanted to lay in. Talal was
I mean, he's
Seb's co-driver.
Oh God, yeah. God, what a horrific human he is. No, Talal is like my parents genuinely say Talal's like your second father. Whenever we go on these trips, he's amazing. Like, kind of soul, incredible guy, incredible car knowledge. But we've kind of developed this persona where we both hate each other, right? Through all the
so if you watch any of the Team Galag videos, there's a lot of like hatred going between Talal, but jokingly.
Well, we got stuck into a car. We were basically just, Talal said, I've got no one in my car. Anyone want to do it?
He'd run out of friends.
Fine. He'd run out of friends. So that, that's what happens when you run out of friends is you call me. So I was like, yep, take up my role. And then we spent a week in the car and we probably spoke for a total of 2.5 minutes in the entire week. Cause we had never really spent that much time together. And there was this thing where all we do is tease and almost insult each other the whole time. When it got to the end of the trip, we both sort of looked at it and realized, that was actually quite fun.
Both of you fall asleep in cars all the time.
So we were never talking because either he was sleeping or smoking his vape, or I was sleeping or filming. So we would never talk. One thing I will say, the only compliment I'll ever really give about Talal is he's got decent music taste.
Oh yeah, he's got good music taste. We agree on music taste.
Yeah, he is apart from that, he is an old fossil.
But yeah, so someone else asked me, let me see if I've actually got their name. No, sorry. Sorry, whoever that was. Hello, random person. Yeah. But they were asking about your other business interests that are not YouTube.
Yeah.
Are there things, so I don't know, maybe start with what else you're doing, but then also maybe a split of like time and I don't know, maybe a percentage income, like you don't have to say any numbers or whatever, like something like that.
No, but I mean, so it was all YouTube. And then I realized that, look, if YouTube shuts down one day, we're done.
Yeah,
right?
You're done.
And also you're so reliant on what the algorithms are doing or anything like that. Like, it's just too up and down. So you need to set things up on the side. And the way I funded YouTube to start with was because I was brokering cars. And so the first car I sold was an LFA, which was just
that's
pure
a
luck.
good start.
My ex's father's LFA. And he said, I remember this, he came up to me, and whoever bought this car, I apologize if ever they're listening to this because I got a bigger commission than I should have on. He said, I want 300,000 euros for the car. I went on the market and it was the cheapest one was 375, I think, something like that. So I was like, I'll put it up for 350, see what happens. He was like, take anything above 300.
Nice.
Put it up for 350. Another broker got involved and we sold it within like 3 days. So then I was like, okay, so I've got this, now that I can spend on YouTube. So invested in YouTube, realized that wasn't working. It was working, but it was too up and down. So anyways, started a few different projects. So the way I have my life is set out now is so I've got YouTube, which probably takes up 50% of my time. And I've got two separate projects. One is a raffle company based here in England that we've just opened internationally sort of a month ago, called Be and Get, which I love. I started with 3 of my best mates and that's been growing massively. So that's amazing. Touch wood.
That's cool.
And then the second one is I don't know how much I can really talk about it, but I'm working in the sports marketing department of a company. Managing a lot of their social media work. So as like an advisor.
Yeah.
And that's literally been confirmed in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, awesome.
So I'm probably doing 25%, of my time for both of those projects, and then 50% YouTube, and then car brokering on the side. And eventually I want to get into, flipping little apartments and things like that. Yeah. So I'd say that's how my time's divided, and it makes it kind of work because those are regular. Every month something comes in. Yeah. And so it means, as I said, like if you've got payments on a car, I've never financed a car before, but like I'm really considering it now. You got payments on a car, you got rent, people to pay, because now, there's a total of 3 full-time people working on the various projects. What's coming in every month, and that makes me feel so much
sleep
more
at night.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's good.
It's interesting when you say that you're helping out with some social media stuff, because I don't think it's something necessarily that everyone that we know thought they might be doing in the future. But if you spend all day, every day for, God knows, 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't know how long we've been doing this stuff, but
10 years,
like a long time.
It's fair.
Like working on your own social media, trying to do it for someone else is very easy.
Yeah. But that's what I was, and also the social media is such a new industry.
Yeah.
The hardest thing to come by is experience. So when you've got experience, that has such a massive value to these bits. Like I was surprised by when I decided to go into this and started working with it, how quickly work sort of like came in, and now I settled down to it. But also the thing is, we built social media and like a little following out of not much at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was a brand.
But there's no brand, but there's no real like talent per se, right?
Yeah.
In terms, we would make videos and we knew our cars, like we had the knowledge and stuff. But when I mean talent, I mean, if you're now working to develop for football players or tennis players or people who have like these real talents and they developed it, you're like, look, if we could build our own stuff, which was on the basis of nothing, think of what we could do for you, who's already famous and who's already,
exactly
stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting. And I think we've by accident fallen into this category of people who have experience in social media, which is an incredibly lucky position to be in.
Because if you this is definitely not putting down anyone that works in that industry at all, but most people that are applying for those jobs have not built a significant following in any way, shape or form. And I'm not saying that is the marker of someone who's been successful, but if you like your in terms of your CV, you don't need formal training. If you say, I have an account that I've personally built that has, 4 million followers or something, and I didn't buy any of them. Yeah. Yeah. That means a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's nuts. Like, it's, it'd be like going into banking or being a car broker and being like, I've never sold a car, right?
Yeah.
Whereas we can be like, I've
been doing it for 10 years.
Been doing it for 10 years. So it's just
not under your name.
Different. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I mean, for one of these the raffle company, what we ended up doing also is 4 years ago when it was cheap, we bought a bunch of Instagram pages. I mean, I don't think I've ever really spoken about this, but we bought all these Instagram pages, which were nothing to do with cars, which we now own, and we've built to 2 million followers in total.
Yeah.
And we use that for our own marketing and different things now. So, when I go to these companies, they'll be like, look, I built the Seb Delanney stuff. But
also we own all these other ones.
So in total, we're on like 2.6 million or something like that.
It's something I thought about doing a couple of years ago, but then never. I didn't want to allocate the time to it. Yeah. But it's definitely. I mean, ideally, it's a lot easier to build an Instagram page if you're not creating all the content.
Yeah, yeah. If you get content sent to you, and it's also just you need to understand algorithms, and it's weird how there's no way of doing that. It's the weirdest thing.
Test and repeat.
You test and repeat, and it's just like you're feeling like, right, this photo got a lot of comments and I gained more followers than usual after that. So clearly at the moment it's favoring comments, right? So then you post a photo of a yellow Ferrari next to a yellow Lamborghini and you say, which one? You'll get a lot of comments. So it's just about, doing that and learning how to grow. But it is crazy how much of a business these things have become now.
Cool. So you've been sort of in between Monaco and London, a lot, And what specifically led you to move to London?
To London, a mix of wanting to do it and not really having much choice. So basically, I was super lucky. So let's go way back. I went to uni, dropped out of uni, and when I hadn't told my parents I dropped out of uni. Went down well. So when I dropped out, they basically said to me, look, here's 400 quid or whatever. That should last you like a month. But after that, you have to earn your own money. And if you run out, you're going back to uni. As soon as you can't afford to, eat or whatever, you go straight back to uni. That's the deal. and we'll give you a certain amount of time in our house where you can live, so you don't have to pay rent in our house. So I was like, okay, cool. So that's when I left, and that's when thankfully the LFA sale came through, and anyways, all this stuff happened. So I ended up being able to stay there, but after 2.5, 3 years, they were like, okay, it's been a while now. You need to get out, basically.
Yeah.
You can come back here whenever you want, but you need to go find your own place. So I moved in with this other Seb, childhood friend of mine, to a place in Monaco, just outside of Monaco. That's the big. I've never actually lived in Monaco. That's like a big thing. Like I live.
You live just
outside of Monaco. So I moved just outside of Monaco with a friend in like the greatest deal I think I've ever seen. In that area, we were paying like $2,000, and we were living, or 1,500 quid or something like that, and we were living in this huge house. Basically because there was this old lady who lived there and just wanted to rent out 2 of the rooms, but she was never there.
Sick.
So it looked like we'd moved into this mansion, but in reality, we were paying what you pay for a room here. Did that, and then that house ended up getting sold 3 months later. Funny enough, Nico Rosberg had come to view it, and then he'd seen my video. It's this weird situation. Anyways, so that house got sold, and then I was left with this situation where I was like, okay, I can either find another place here. My mate's going to move back to London, or I can go anywhere. And there was like 2 days where I was literally like, do I go to LA? Do I go to Sydney, Milan, Madrid? Like, where do I go? I just need an internet connection and cars. And ended up deciding that London was where, so the agency that I work with is here. You know them. A lot of the other YouTubers are here, lots of cars. My sister was going to be here. It's perfect for traveling. You got Heathrow, Gatwick, all these reasons. So decided to move here. Lived in a friend's basement for 3 months while I looked for a place to live, and then moved in with these mates of mine. So it was like a very spontaneous, like literally house sold in France, and then we'd packed the car 2 days later and drove to London with no place to live, and then just crashed in a basement for 3 months. And then moved in with my friends now, because I was just, I couldn't afford to get my own place even, because we're like, it's such a tricky industry because you need to have a car kind of to some extent. So I was spending quite a bit on cars. And then I just invested in these other businesses I just spoke to you about, which now I'm happy, again, touch wood, that they've worked out. But it was a gamble then. I was like, I'm going to invest kind of this money I've got and see what happens. And in the end, it's worked out now. So now that's why I'm moving into my own place now, because it makes sense at this point now.
Cool.
There you go. I've given you like my whole life story. But there you go.
Sweet. Last week before, I went to Lotus for the first time.
Oh,
and
I think I saw this.
They let me drive some cars. So I think by the time this podcast comes out, those videos will be out. But I drove an Exige and...
Which Exige?
410.
I haven't driven one.
And the Avora. Now you had...
380.
An Exige 380.
Yeah.
Was it 380 Cup or something? The 380.
Got some stories for you if you want. Some juicy.
Some juice.
Juice, yeah. Lotus stories. I love Lotus. And I regret selling that Exige. I'm not going to lie. It was so cool. I love that car. But they just made too many. Like in the same way as McLaren almost did, right? So I was going to buy an Exige 350 because at the time that was like, the top.
The one.
They were being sort of really slow with getting, the specs sorted and all of this. Really slow to the point where I was like, guys, do you want to sell me this car? And then they say, no, the reason we're being slow is because we knew this 380 was coming out and we wanted to wait to offer you one of these. Gave me a nice deal on that car. And so I said, okay, I'll buy the 380, but is anything else coming?
Yeah.
Because I would wait for that. Nothing coming. Okay. So I buy the 380.
I mean, they're never going to tell you, are they?
Yeah, but I mean, it's to some extent, I was like, look, even if it's a little bit more, I'll buy whatever's coming next. So, it would have been nice. But so I spec the car, get the car built, arrive to pick it up. The day I pick it up, I see a test mule for something else. And I'm like, and then 2 weeks later, a 380 Cup comes out.
Yeah.
I was like, look, if it was 2 weeks, like I would have waited. So that kind of annoyed me a bit, but it happens. Then a 410 came out. Mine went down in value. I ended up selling it because I couldn't afford to lose more money in the car. And I was lucky in the end because I got in a good deal. I didn't end up losing. So I was lucky. But if I'd waited longer, I probably would have.
What did you think of the car?
Oh, the cars, I love it. It's your type of car as well.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought it was really cool.
They said, come down and you can try some cars and you've got some time on the test track.
Yeah.
Which, like, awesome, isn't it? That can happen. They've got their own track.
Well. Yeah.
And so, they had an Exige 410 and an Evora 410. I drove the Exige first, and I think I had about an hour in total.
Did you have the manual?
Yeah, both manual.
It was the open gated.
It was the proper open gated. Yeah. And I really enjoyed it. But I think it took, because I did probably 5 laps with one of their development drivers first.
Passenger or
as a passenger, and then just asking about the car, like a couple of laps, and then I got in driving, and then asking a bit more whilst driving around, and then it was basically me getting the car, and you've got 10 laps or something before I need to take some photos, and then get in the other car and stuff like that. So I'm still trying to learn the track whilst then driving fast,
and it's not an easy track.
It's not an easy track. Like it's quite. There's a couple of sections that you get drawn into going a bit too fast.
You can understeer,
and then you just sort of like understeer off. But I really enjoyed driving the Exige, and the more I drove it, the more I enjoyed it.
Fast, isn't it?
It's fast, so fast. And then I drove the Evora, and I loved the Evora.
Oh, interesting.
Like I really liked the Evora.
I thought you would have preferred the Exige. What was the Evora manual as well?
They're both manual. So same engine. That makes the Evora slower because it's heavier. Yeah, which is slightly odd to have a car higher up the range that's then slower.
And you drove the 410 Evora.
Yeah,
so they were both 410s.
Both literally same engine, different cars, pretty much same gearbox. So I don't know. I enjoyed the Evora more.
Why did you enjoy the Evora more?
Potentially, it was literally just more time on track, more time driving the cars, getting used to them and stuff like that. But I think it was to do with the refinement and the steering. So the Exige is quite hard work. Like
Exige is just tough.
It's quite hard work to drive,
and you're in there.
You're really in it, which draws you really into driving it. And you get out, and I was like sweating, and like I'd had an awesome time. But then when I drove the Evora, someone asked me afterwards. They actually just said, "Have you ever driven a Lotus Evora?" And I'd like to know how it compares to your GT3 RS. And after having driven the Evora now, I would say it's the most similar driving experience to my GT3 RS. That's not that's not that Porsche.
I don't think they get enough credit. Because they are incredible.
Like the only problem I think at the moment with those cars is they're quite sort of old
and expensive,
and they're kind of expensive.
Yeah.
So it's an oldish design. They need to be refreshed, and like for the price that you pay for an Evora, I'm not set on the aesthetics of it. It's all right.
Yeah.
The driving experience was amazing, but even things like the
noise is amazing.
The noise sounds really good, but the sound system, like it's crap. It's okay. It's like bought in from someone else.
Yeah. There's a lot more they could do. I'm fascinated.
But they've got new cars coming.
The Evora, they've got. Like I nearly bought the Evora 430, or the one they only made 60 of.
But they're making, so they've.
Or the 460. There was one which was very limited.
They've got like a hypercar coming.
Yeah.
Next year, which is going to bring in the new design language that's going to filter down to the rest of the range. And then there's another. I couldn't get out of them whether it was an Exige replacement or an Evora replacement or somewhere in the middle.
It'll be. I think they're going to replace everything. So because the Elise is on the same chassis as the Exige, those two share a similar chassis. It's a bit like wider or something.
The Exige and the Evora is the same.
Okay.
The Elise is a bit smaller.
Okay, there you go. That's what. Yeah.
And then they have different like front ends and stuff like that. Yeah. But
I think they're just going to do the lot.
Yeah. But the first next year, there's going to be a new car,
which will be the hypercar. Or
the hypercar is next year, 100%.
And then after there'll be
and then I think later in the year there's like a new normal production-ish car.
See, that will be interesting because at the moment they're just trying to get as many cars out of their current lineup. So with special editions, etc. when that comes out, I mean, they make such brilliant cars that it has potential to be massive. And they've been bought by a Chinese company.
Yeah. So they've now got loads of money.
Is it the same guys who own Land Rover?
Something, I think. I'm not sure.
But they've got loads of money, which was always their issue.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think for the last 5 years or whatever, they've basically been like, had no money and just got to make do.
Yeah, well, they made money for the first time in ages, like 2 years ago. I think they actually made profit for the first time in like 15 years or something.
But yeah, I was genuinely, I didn't expect them to be any good.
Yeah.
And the Avora, I really, really enjoyed. And I want to drive one on a road now.
Yeah.
Because like, the more you drive modern cars.
And on the road, you will. It was so when I had the Exige, I remember just trying to explain to people. Yes, it's 380 horsepower, but it's
1,100 kilos.
So quick. So when we'd go up the roads around Monaco, people would be like, "Yeah, I've got an Aventador, or whatever."
Yeah.
I was like, well, one, it was also because I know those roads really well, but it's so fast and it's instant because it's supercharged, right? So there's no turbo
just
lag.
Punches.
So you put your foot down. You need to be so careful coming out of some corners though. Like wet, I was on semi-slicks coming out of hairpins. You had to it was like pressing on an eggshell, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
So the reason I brought up Lotus is I know you had the Lotus and then you now have an Alpine.
And I have an Alpine, which is downstairs.
Yeah. It's fit very neatly in my garage.
In your garage, yeah. Well, you said you had a small garage and the other car, Kia Stinger, which is a loaner, is about the size of Titanic. So I thought I wouldn't bring that. But the Alpine's really nice. You should drive it because I want
to have a go. But I'm not like. Actually, yeah. Well, I'd like a little drive in town.
Yeah.
But I want to have it. I need to have a go in one like with some curves or something.
Yeah, it's a really good car. It hasn't gotten my senses going the way the Exige did, though. It's fast. But it's about half the money the Exige was. So, I can't really compare. But it's fast. It's not incredibly rapid. It's like Cayman-S sort of speed. I don't know. I really like it. I really, really like it. But I'm not blown away with it. So I'm thinking about selling it.
So if you're looking for
an Alpine,
nice low mileage Alpine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very, very low mileage. But and I'm not like when I decided to sell the Exige, I was really sad about. I was like, oh no, am I doing the right thing? Whereas with this, I'm like, okay, that's fine.
It's done. What made you get it in the first place?
So okay, two things. One, I saw it at the Geneva Motor Show when they released it, and just really thought it was really cool. Really liked it. So I tried to go put a deposit down for one. Also because I knew if you got the Premier Editions, they would do well investment wise. Should do right. So I went to the guy. It was like the Thursday evening. I was like, can I put a deposit down? It was like 2,000 euros or something for the deposit to secure it for 2 years later. He said, yeah, no problem. Come in the morning and we'll sort that out for you. Go back the next morning. He's like, last one was sold 15 minutes ago. Oh my God. Okay. So then for a year and a half, I was like looking for one for list and they were all asking for like 15,000 over list. I was like, no way. Test drove one. And that's when I was like, okay, I want one. I really want one of these because they're brilliant. Like good gearbox, good engine, beautiful interior. The interior compared to like a 4C or something like that is just absolutely stunning. Really? Yeah, I'll show you later. And then anyway, someone offered me one for list and I just pounced on it and got that. And it was in Alpine blue, but it's still got like all the stickers.
I don't think I've seen one in another color.
Yeah. I mean, it's the color, isn't it? What's another car that has like so strongly a color?
I'll tell you the car and you will now tell me the color. BMW M2.
Blue as well. Yeah.
Long Beach
for a
blue.
Second, I was thinking black. There's quite a few black ones.
You now see a lot in other colors because it's been around for a long time. It was
blue.
But it was just everyone had that blue.
You're right. There was also AMG
Ferrari
GTR.
458.
Yeah. But Ferrari 458 in red. AMG GTR in green, or whatever they call it. Yeah, green, hell green.
This is a good game, actually. Yeah. SLS Black Series.
Solar Beam yellow.
Yes.
What else is there? Aventador Sv at first, they were all in that red.
Oh, remember that is an awesome color, but I'd find it, if you said Aventador Sv, I'd find it tricky because people get them all in different colors.
Right. What else was there? There are more. P1 in that volcano orange. at first when they came out. There were
like a 12C would be in that orange.
The first Aventador in the orange.
Yes.
Remember when the first Aventador came out? They were all
similar to the McLaren
orange
color.
Yeah. Anyways, so we're getting completely
that was slightly sidetracked. So yeah, you're enjoying the Alpine for now, but like it may go.
Eventually.
Have you lined up something you might want?
Yeah, so I did this thing on the French YouTube channel, which was so unplanned, and I don't know if it was a good idea or not. So basically, I made a video where it was 5 supercars for under 40,000 euros that you can buy, right? So like Maserati Gran Turismo, Bentley Continental GT, original Audi R8 V8, Porsche 997, and V8 Vantage.
So we're using supercar in brackets here.
Yeah, supercar in brackets. Yeah. But like, it's,
cool looking sports cars.
So I made that video, and at the end of it, I don't even know why I said this. I was like, if this video gets 10,000 comments and 20,000 likes, I'll buy one of these cars.
Oh.
And so Cole, who was filming behind, literally just looked at me. He was like, is that a thing? And I was like, I guess so. So
guess it is now.
Because 10,000 comments
is a lot.
There's no way, right? Yeah. No way. Anyways, yes way. So we got the 10,000 comments and we got the 20,000 likes. And so I'm going to buy one of these cars. So now I'm going to test drive all 5 of them.
Okay.
And then I'm going to let the followers vote, and then I'll buy one. I'll buy whichever one they pick.
You're going to buy whichever one they pick?
Yeah. It's a bold move, right?
Bold. Okay, so what were the cars again? Maserati Gran Turismo.
Yeah. Tell me which
Bentley
one
Continental.
Original
V8
Bentley Continental, original V8 Vantage.
R8. V8.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I will let them choose a platform, and then I'll probably go and buy. Like, so if they say Gran Turismo, I'll buy an MC Stradale.
Yeah.
They say V8 Vantage, I'll buy a Vantage S. Bentley Continental.
But you're still within the similar sort of budget.
Yeah, range. R8, like V10 manual, probably.
Yeah.
And what was the last one? 997. I would get like a 997. You know what I think is actually a good investment is a 997.2 manual.
Just C2S?
No, turbo. Sorry.
Turbo.
997 turbo. Last turbo manual.
Yeah.
Ever made.
I sort of agree. I don't think they're going down.
Yeah. Anyway, so those would be the cars. What would you...
And in this scenario, you've got 2 cars?
No, so in this scenario, Alpine's gone, I think. And
No. Okay, the Alpine's gone, but would you still have the Kia maybe something else?
Or like an A35 or
something like
RS3
that.
Or something like that, yeah.
Okay, so this is your like sports car. The Aston looks amazing, sounds amazing. Yeah. It's pretty like old.
Yeah,
though.
But it's an Aston.
But it is an Aston. It has the wings. A manual V10 R8.
Good job.
I don't know what they cost.
Original one's 55,000 pounds. You can pick one up for. It's a manual V10.
Yeah,
mid-engine.
That's legit.
V10.
That's a really good car.
Yeah, and also all of these I'd modify as well, like to some extent as well. So like the V10, I'd go full.
You go supercharged or whatever. Yeah. I think the Porsche would be a very good car, but like not super interesting. I don't think.
Not a good YouTube car.
Yeah, like it'd just be a really good car. But I personally, the way I feel about 911 turbos, they're very good. They're very fast. They're very comfy. But and people look at me a bit odd when I say this sometimes. I see them more as like a daily driver.
Yeah.
Like there's certain cars that I look at and go like,
money.
Like money, no object. Yeah. That's the sort of thing you might have as a daily driver, but I wouldn't have it as the fun sports car.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make the right noises and it doesn't have quite the right experience. Its party trick is going really fast.
Yeah.
And that's not a good party trick for having fun.
Yeah. It's got 720S sort of feel to it.
Yeah.
720S has less than turbos.
Yeah.
But sorry, continue on your...
Yeah. So I think of those ones, the Maserati, I've had zero experience with them other than I know they sound good.
Gearbox is pretty crap.
So I probably wouldn't get one of them.
Yeah. Bentley,
nah.
That's how I'm going. I think the one that I could have the most fun with would be the R8 because I could modify that.
It's mid-engines.
My dream, I have no idea if this is feasible or how much it would cost or if it would be street legal, is to make it into a GT3, R8 GT3 with 900 horsepower manual street legal. I think it would be hilarious.
Yeah, it would.
Because I have it between here and France. Because I can still use my parents' house from time to, as long as I don't
keep
live
it or
there.
whatever. Yeah,
I can still keep it there.
it'd be pretty lols.
It'd be pretty lols. So actually,
the idea of having all that bodywork on a car, ignoring the fact that you're chopping and whatever, just doesn't appeal to me that much.
I'll show you a photo.
But I think there would, if you'd asked me 6 years ago, I would have absolutely loved the idea.
Remember, I am still 12 years old.
Exactly. So
look, when I said going full John Olsen,
he's bringing up his phone.
We've been texting and he's been sending me, look, so he's a bad R8 LMS, this thing, whatever that is.
Oh yeah.
If
it's basically an R8 with some body kit bits on it.
Yeah. So this is kind of what I'm thinking. This is classic. I tell him, yeah, I'm going to get an R8 potentially. What modifications do you think I should do? Because I know you modified one. Do you think like just an exhaust or like wheels? And he sends me a GT3 kit with a supercharger. I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah, classic.
Do you see him quite a bit on every now and then? I guess now you're
Monaco.
here. Like,
now I'm here not too much. But like, when I'm in Monaco, yeah. So he's buying a new car now. So we just went, I helped him figure out which car he wanted. And in the end, he let his followers vote.
Has he decided?
DBS.
Okay, yeah, I thought that's what he was going to get. Cool.
I'm not going to. I have photos of the final one on my phone, but I don't know if he's...
Okay.
So I don't want to mess that up. I'll show you after.
Yeah. Okay. I'm having a real like Aston Martin renaissance at the moment.
Yeah, I think Aston's... Okay, here's a big thing. People either loved or hate what they did at Geneva, like the 003, the Vanquish concept, etc. What did you think of them?
I thought really cool.
Yeah.
But I thought slightly shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
Just because they, and I've spoken about this on other podcasts with James and people and stuff like that, but they've got the Valkyrie, right? This is the Halo crazy mega car. This is the one with the proper engine in it, V12, badass. Then they've got one below, which is the 003. Is that
still badass?
Still badass. It's got this sort of that will have basically a modern F1 engine in it.
Yeah.
But personally, having a modern F1 engine in a car does not interest me.
Yeah, want like a...
I want a good sounding NA or hybrid engine.
They make it sound like a modern F1 car.
The modern F1 cars don't sound that good.
You say that though, but they make some pretty interesting noises.
They sound interesting. Okay, yeah. They make some interesting noises,
but not.
But if you said like it could sound like a 2008 F1 car,
yeah, absolutely.
And then they've shown the concept for the supercar that's coming out,
the Vanquish,
and they all look the same.
Yeah, that is the
that's the bit I've got
for me, right? Where there is no way a Valkyrie could ever be an option.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. So, because then I'm thinking like, God, that like body shape is somewhat obtainable. Obtainable is a strong word. But like, if I win the lottery in the next 3 years, I can maybe get a Vanquish, right?
Yeah.
And basically have a Valkyrie, which is great for people who can afford the Vanquish.
Well, yeah.
But if you've bought a Valkyrie, I'd be pissed.
Valkyrie, I think you're still okay. Because it's got the mega engine. And it's like, that's going to come out reasonably soon. The 003, you're in this weird middle ground where the baby car is going to look like that. And I think
it's
a lot of...
£1 million.
Yeah.
003.
Yeah. Yes. So this is a very expensive car. And I think a lot of people that were going to buy that car have just seen that they're going to make a supercar that looks the same and go, I'll just get the supercar.
Yeah.
Because it'll probably have a more... It might... Not necessarily more... Technically more interesting.
Pulled out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just in general, in life.
Yeah, in general. But
yeah. More than two.
Yeah, exactly. Same. I've heard a lot of people who have said, look, I had a spot for one of these. Because no, it's 500. They're making, that's quite a bit.
They're going to make a few.
Yeah. And the thing that I want to hear your point of view on this, hypercars and their prices. Do you remember, like, even when the hypercar trio came out, but before that, like, Veyron was 800 grand.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, how can a car cost 800 grand? Then hypercar trio came out. It was as if those were the most expensive cars.
Yeah, and they were that range between 800 and 1.2 or something.
Yeah, max 1.2. Now, 1.2 gets you the baby hypercar.
Yeah.
Like every hypercar, Project 1, 2.5 mil. Valkyrie, same thing. The new Koenigsegg's 3.3 something. It's nuts.
Like you get the crazy Bugatti, it'll be 10. Yeah. The crazy Pagani will be 10.
Yeah.
Like
it's absurd.
Obviously, they're making it for people that have obscene amounts of money, of which there are a lot of. There's a crazy amount. So they're always these cars are going to exist. But I don't know. I always used to look up at the Halo cars, and they used to be super desirable, whereas now they're not. And I think that says probably more about me than the cars.
Yeah. Getting old.
Getting old.
Walking stick.
Yeah, I know. Well, I went running the other day and I couldn't walk for a week.
So. Really? Yeah. Yeah, I've had that too. My ankle's been screwed because I went running for about 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Just to get to the shops because they were closing soon, and now I've been injured for 2 weeks. Yeah.
I think because performance-wise, if you'd said 20 years ago, the stats of the supercars then are the same as like a hatchback now.
Yeah.
And that actually, the roads haven't got any bigger.
Yeah,
and
it's scary.
And where you're driving these cars, unless you're driving them to be seen, so that's totally one side, it's totally fine, whatever, status symbol, yada, yada, yada. But loads of them don't necessarily sound as good as the ones from 3 years ago because they've all gone turbo.
Yeah.
So
Valkyrie will sound.
Yeah.
Absurd.
But we've had a whole bunch of like turbocharged cars which just won't necessarily sound as good as they used to. The performance is completely useless in terms of when you're ever going to use that. I thought I drove Tim's Senna. So this is a new this is a new level under the...
That's the 003 effectively.
Yeah, that level.
Because it's under, what's their Speedtail is their big boy one.
Yeah. What do you think of Speedtail? I
actually think it looks kind of cool. I don't know. Like I never
Does it interest you as a car?
No,
then.
Historically, yeah, from the history point of view, but like, no, not really. I wouldn't buy.
There's too many cars. No, there's not too many cars because I'm glad that people keep making all these crazy, mental cars. But yeah, sort of winding back to my point. Like you get any modern supercar from the last 5 years, they're all crazy fast.
The Senna must be
like mental. The Senna was the first McLaren I've driven, other than 675 LT. I thought was pretty cool, but the Senna was the most involving McLaren I've ever driven. It felt nuts at 30 miles an hour. Like you couldn't use all the power, and that sort of stuff. But it sort of felt a bit crazy, and I feel like you could probably have, if you just dialed back the fuck factor on how many you give, you could probably have a lot of fun on a road without going too fast.
Yeah.
But it's got a stupid amount. Like, what is the point?
It's so quick. Senna is just, 720.
720
is so fast.
It's crazy fast.
But what do you think about the looks on the Senna now?
No.
You don't like it?
No.
Yeah. I
it's
hated it at first, but now
it's not. I don't hate it like so much.
Yeah.
But I don't love it.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Like I saw an Aston Martin 177 at the weekend, and I hadn't seen one in a long time. This one was black. It was just sitting there, and that's like the most amazing thing I've seen.
Selling one for a client if ever you know anyone who's interested. But they are cool. But they're crap to drive.
Well, that's it. I actually have no desire to own or drive one.
Yeah.
But they look amazing. So I'd have one like on a wall.
Yeah.
Or in a 100-car collection, I'd have a 177.
Yeah. But no, it isn't. Okay, here's a question. What would you have out of the current hypercar? Project One, Valkyrie, Senna.
Valkyrie.
Apparently Project One, that they can't put that engine in anymore. Have you heard this?
I heard they were having a lot of problems.
I've heard they've now gone to their clients to say, we can't work it out. Like, it's just going to be too unreliable. We can't do it. What would you like? Like, would you like a V12? Would you like a V8?
Wow.
And seeing what people come back with, and then they're going to figure that out. So it's been delayed by like 2 years ago.
They could put a V12 in it.
If they put the Zonda V12 or something similar.
Like an 800 horsepower V12.
Yeah. That would be cool.
That would be sick. That would make that car so much sicker for me.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people wanted the Project One because they wanted
the F1
it made by Mercedes when Mercedes were dominating F1.
And it's an F1. Like, I know Nico Rosberg was going to have his championship-winning actual engine in his Project One. Yeah.
And like, cool. Just explode every 5 minutes.
Just explode, yeah.
Yeah, because the thing I heard was they were having problems with like, it had to idle at like 5,000 RPM or something.
Which is hilarious. Imagine you had a chunk like, yeah. I was going to say the only other person who would have a car as loud as a Project One at idle would be the Wallace.
Is he still...
He still likes his loud exhausts.
Still 100% into liking loud cars.
Yeah. His new Murcielago, he's I was going to say Fab Sped.
Fab Sped?
He's Fab Sped. He's got a Fab Speed on it, and I haven't heard it in real life. But
is that car manual?
No.
Paddles?
Paddles.
Have you driven it?
No. I've driven in it, but I haven't driven it. I've never driven a Murcielago. Manuals could be kind of cool. There was a manual that came up at VVS, 6.2 for I think 140,000, and Paul was trying to get me to go see that because they will probably hold their value quite well. Manual V12.
Yeah, I don't know. But I drove a LP 640.
Yeah,
and
manual or
paddles. Yeah, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, paddles on those are pretty.
The paddles even on the great, Aventador. But even just everything about it, the ergonomics.
Yeah, like,
your feet. It's a proper Lambo, like feet off to the side.
Yeah.
And I think I'm not really like I'm not a Lambo person. Yeah. Like not as in I wouldn't have a Lambo. I would totally if I had I don't know what number of cars, but I would totally have an SVJ.
Yeah.
There was a blue one that was sitting down the road in the dealership forever. And it just looks badass. And if someone says to you supercar, like a kid nowadays would draw an Aventador.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nuts. You know what blows my mind is how those Murcielagos, they're worth 140 grand or whatever now. When they came out, they cost about the same and they were the biggest competition of the Zonda.
Wow.
When you think about it. Do you not remember like when the Zonda came out, it was like this is sitting against Murcielagos, the 6.2s. And now the original Zondas are worth 3 million.
Yeah.
Something like that. And the
I mean, the production numbers are significantly different.
Yeah, 100%. But back then, if you could go back, 200, I think they were £249,000 or something, the Zondas, original ones, or less, or 199, I think. Anyways, not a lot of money, but for how much they're worth now, not much. And you could go imagine if you'd made the decision to buy a Murcielago, how much you'd be punching yourself.
But you probably have sold your Zonda by now.
Yeah.
You may not have, but you probably would have.
If you haven't.
Or you've spent another 2.5 million euros just doing upgrades every year.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. That is true. You could. I wonder, what do you think would be the most valuable Zonda now? Because I know you love Zondas.
Yeah.
So you know your Zondas.
Okay, so...
Cinque?
My personal favourite is the Tricolor?
Yeah, Tricolor, yeah.
It's blue, gold wheels, manual.
There's 3 of them in the world.
Right-hand drive?
Manual.
I don't know
whether there's right-hand drive. There's less than the Zondas. They look amazing. Yeah.
But I don't think that's just the one, I think, which I would want. That level, like Zonda F sort of time.
Yeah.
Before they went crazy big wings and all that stuff.
See, I like Lewis's.
Yeah.
First ever 760 manual.
That's quite cool.
Roadster. Purple carbon.
Yeah, see, this fits in with your, like, you want to put a GT3 kit on your Audi.
Purple carbon Zonda 760.
But there is one car, and I think it's the original prototype, I believe, and I think it was owned by Bob Forstner, I think.
Okay.
And it's the one that did all the initial testing and stuff and blah 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 blah. And up until recently, it was the only one that could be owned in the States and driven.
It's not the No, whatever they call it, or Nona, the one that's got 1 million kilometers on.
No,
it's not that one.
No, it's not that one.
Okay, yeah.
No, it's like when they first came out, there was one car that went and did a whole bunch of American testing and stuff like that, and it's registered in the US, and it's the only one that's registered, cool. And it's like chassis number 0001.
Who probably owns it now is Dan I am.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because he seems to own all of them.
Although if I had that car, I wouldn't be selling it anytime soon.
That must be worth.
Although I don't know how long until Zondas are legally be able to driven in the States anyway. Quite a long time, I guess.
Because
it's like 25 years or something.
Yeah.
And then they're not that old.
Yeah, but if you're sat on one now, think about how much the value will go up as soon as you can. Although, yeah, I mean, that whole market, if you're a Zonda owner, even in Europe, as soon as it opens up to America, the demand goes massively up. So your car will be worth like $1 million more overnight.
Or, like, definitely, that's a big part of it. And then also when China suddenly just, like, a lot of Chinese people are buying cars, but not really. Not in terms of the number of billionaires versus the number of people that are buying expensive cars. Like, it's a tiny, tiny amount.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. When they wake up and want to take those cars, that's going to be massive.
They're just going to go in one, like one boatload will come over and just and like boom, one seat.
All the Zondas will be gone. Yeah. Yeah, I know the feeling. But so, because you've got the F40.
Yeah.
And you're keeping that.
Undecided.
Okay.
Like very undecided at the moment. I did a little like a garage update video the other day. I haven't put it out yet, but essentially I just in the last 6 months I've been really thinking about the cars I own and whether I want to own them. And
you've got recap me. You've got F40, M2.
Yeah, F40, M2, GT3 RS.
Yeah.
So 997 GT3 RS. My old 911. It's like a backdate.
Yeah.
SC.
The yellow one, yeah.
What was that, 4?
4, yes.
And then I've got my Radical.
Yeah.
So a race car.
Yeah.
And like M2, it does everything I want it to do very well. The only thing I'm finding at the moment is I'm doing a lot more long journeys. So it's not very good in town. Yeah. The suspension's rubbish and it's not amazing in town. It's still small, which is kind of fun. It still looks good. But I'm doing a lot more long journeys. So that I'm thinking of changing that for something that's better at long journeys. That's one option.
Okay.
Or still keep the M2, still go to track days occasionally with it, whatever. And then change one of the other cars for a GT car of sorts. So
right.
I don't drive the GT3 RS that much at the moment. Like I really don't drive it. I love it. I've had amazing memories in it. I genuinely think it's one of the best cars ever.
Yeah.
But I don't drive it.
Yeah. And value-wise, is it a good time to sell it?
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Like I've done very well out of it. Yeah. I could sell it and I'm making money, whatever. Whatever. It's more down to, I've just sort of realized recently that I like having less stuff.
Yeah.
Things like, I got rid of a guitar and an amp the other day that I don't really use, and just having like less stuff in your house. If I had, I can't remember what I was saying. Yeah, if I just had like an insane amount of space and I never had to see any of the things I owned, then maybe fine. But just like in mental capacity of having lots of things, like having 5 cars is a right pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Actually, the one that's the least pain in the ass is a race car because it lives with someone else and it's managed, and
you show up, you drive it, you leave it.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, that's the dream. GT3 RS I see. So you and 40 as well. So if 40 went, would you get something similar to that, or would you just hold back? And
I think I would love to just have 2 cars. Now, if there was no investment potential whatsoever, then I would probably still maybe go to 2, ignoring the race car. Maybe I would love the idea of having a daily that's comfortable, does the stuff I need to do day to day, go long distances, whatever, and then have a sporty car that I do road trips in, take to the track occasionally, does all the other stuff.
So you get rid of the old 911 as well?
Well,
get rid of all 3.
The thing is, I absolutely love the old 911.
Yeah, I was going to say that's cool.
It's like, it just ticks a lot of boxes, and I really enjoy driving it. It's like fun at all speeds. It's cool. It's like, it's not showy in any way. Everyone, like, it's just a really fun, happy car. So the only thing I would change that for would be something similar.
Yeah.
So just maybe a more refined version of the same thing.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I don't see that going.
Okay, so two if the F would go.
So if the F40 and the GT3 RS went, the GT3 RS, that would be a really set. I'd be really sort of like
It'd be a sad day.
bit of sad day because I've had a long time and I've been to Romania in that car.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Christ. Yeah.
Like it's had some good times, and I don't. With lots of cars, you go.
We would all get sad if that went.
Yeah,
because it's like part of the.
Everyone's like, Sam, you can't sell that car. You love that car. I'm like, yeah, but it's my car. I can do whatever I want with it.
Yeah.
But all my friends have a serious like association with me and that car and road trips.
It's always like that until you sell it and you get something else, and everyone's like, oh no, we love your new car now.
Yeah, exactly. So if the Ferrari went, I would hold off for a bit and then find some other investment potentials, whether it was cars or something else. But I would probably get another car at some point in time. I don't know what, but
CGT.
Yeah, maybe complete the Porsche
That's
Trinity.
What I was going to say. And also it's around the same, it's less money.
It's less money. So it would be similar to what I bought this is an insight for people, to what I paid for the Ferrari. And then it would mean I was driving a car that was worth less. Like what I could do with a Ferrari is literally just sawn it and never drive it. But I feel like that'd be a bit of a shame. But as an investment, it would probably be decent.
Because you drive it often at the moment? No.
Like a couple of times a year.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And more, as time goes on, I drive it more. I could go up for the day, hoon it, and then take it back. But, so that could go. I don't know. If someone offered me the right amount of money, it would probably go.
We could sell our blue cars as a package to someone. Take a GT2 RS, an Alpine, and then I'm coming in a bit lower than yours, but I'll just sneak in there as the package goes. Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love something. If I sold those two cars or one car, I would probably look at something like an F12 or something that I've always wanted to try, at least drive as a DBS. Like not like the old one, a manual one.
I was considering one.
Just like ball around in one of them. I think that'd be they're really cool. It's just cool.
And it's less mileage sensitive. Because if you get like James, a TDF, or you can't
drive it.
Yeah, you can't drive it. You literally cannot drive it. So what's the point? That, this is on a much, much smaller scale, but the Alpine, they're going up and no one's really driving them. So whenever I drive it, you almost feel like
you're literally just spending a lot of money every time you drive it.
So if I get a Maserati or R8 or whatever, I'm like, whatever. Like if I want to drive it 5 times around Europe, whatever. If I put 100,000 miles on it.
Yeah. And I'm definitely, as time goes on, getting a little bit older, I start to think, yes, okay, not driving a car. If I literally just put it in a compartment in my head, that is, I own this as an investment. Boomf.
As if it was money in stock.
Yeah. And treat it the same. Like it gets looked after, but like it doesn't get driven, has a cover on it. Maybe it appears in an event once or twice a year, but like it might as well be some stock or something. Then that is a different way of looking at it, and I could do that. But
do you think they'll
having
really
experience
keep going?
I think long term. Like if you kept it for 10 years, for sure.
Yeah. I think the two cars that are undervalued right now and that will go up are CGT F40. Are my two, I think, if someone came to me with how much an F40 is now, what, 800?
Yeah, 800-900.
Oh, okay. So 800-900 and then what, like 650-700 for a CGT?
Yeah, I think 600-700.
Yeah. So yeah, if someone came with, 1 point whatever million to invest, I would say those would be the two to go into. Because the Ferraris do well, but they always just hit the other Ferraris, like 458 Aperta, TDF. They kind of just hit like a ceiling.
They're not the Halo cars.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like the Halo cars, La Aperta, how much are they now? Like 4 mil?
Yeah.
It's nuts.
But that's the initial bubble part of the pricing when something's super rare, like something like a TDF at the moment is super popular and very expensive. Now, will it still be in 5 years' time?
It's GTOs went way up and now they've come down.
Because
how much are they? They're like 400?
I don't know. Something like that.
Yeah, they've come down a lot.
And they were up at 900 or 800-900. And essentially, like a GTO is a 599 with less stuff on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
A TDF yes, it's a very cool car, but it is an F12 with a bunch of stuff jammed to it.
Yeah.
Like an Enzo is an Enzo.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, Enzos, they're cool.
I've never thought they were that cool.
Enzos. Me neither, until recently.
Oh.
I didn't think they looked great, but now every time I see one, I get very excited.
Oh.
Yeah, I do like
F50s are doing that for me now. I've always thought they're a bit ugly, but the fact that it's a manual with a V12 bolted to it.
Yeah, see, I get that, but F50s, I think we're opposites then in terms of the Enzo does that for me. F50, I've never really got, like, I would much rather have an F40 than an F50. Maybe just because of the way it looks.
I think it's a better looking car. The F40 is a better looking car than the F50.
Sick.
As a driving experience, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty awesome. I, having now driven it a reasonable amount, not tons, but a reasonable amount, it's wicked. The only thing I find with it is it's potentially too raw.
Yeah, a bit much.
Now, can you say a car is ever too raw? Well, if you only drive it for half an hour once a month, perfect.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go down a motorway.
Yeah.
But, a road trip, that does not a road trip make.
Yeah.
You could, but you'd be, wearing it. Like, I think that car is made by having, like, mine's got straight pipes. Yeah. And that adds to the experience, but also detracts when you're going down the motorway and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's a tricky balance to get with a car. And I think that's what I'm sort of finding with, let's say, the GT3 is I love the GT3. Like, I really love that car. And I took it to Silverstone a couple of weeks ago and drove down, like, had a hoon around, and it was wicked. Like, it's just a really good car. But day to day, I'm not doing
you can't
that.
Use it, yeah.
I think I would have just as much fun in a, like, $2,000 rear wheel drive BMW. Like, it's being on the limit that's fun.
Yeah.
And okay, having a good soundtrack is helpful.
Yeah.
But being on the limit is fun. And the less fucks you give about the car, the more fun you can have. Whereas I spend a lot of time at the moment, well, not tons of time, but more time driving long distances. And I like
where are you going most of the time?
Like, quite often it's just driving to the racetrack.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get in a sport, like, in a race car.
Yeah.
Which, whenever you put all these cars, like, Senna or LaFerrari or whatever, yes, they're an awesome experience, but you put them on track and they are not a race car.
Yeah.
And you put them against, not quite, but, any race car, proper race car, and the race car is significantly better.
Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah, it's not. Yeah. Sounds like what you need to go to the racetrack is an extended wheelbase Phantom with a Ferrari V12 in it.
With a driver.
Yeah.
That
would be the dream.
That'd be great.
Got another one of those for sale, actually, if ever you need. But yeah.
So I was looking at things. I'm potentially looking at things like big cool GT cars. So something like an F12. It's always tickled my fancy a little bit. I don't like the fact that there's some YouTubers that own F12s.
Who owns F12s now?
Doesn't TG have one?
Oh, there's TG. Okay. Is that it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Potentially.
But people have had them.
But that doesn't itself doesn't bother me.
James had one. James's was nice.
Yeah, his was cool.
I think they're awesome.
He had two.
You had two? Really?
Yeah. But I was talking to, one of the reasons I thought about this is I've been looking at the mileage I've done. Recently, I did an Excel sheet and I don't know why I haven't done this before, of, like, all cars and then costs of car ownership since new and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones that have cost me the most money have been the dailies, like the RS3, that cost me loads of money. Basically, if you bought something new, that costs loads of money.
Because it just depreciates.
Just depreciates a ton of money in not a long amount of time. Like the M2, I got a good deal on when I bought it, but it's still lost. Let's say it's probably lost £10,000 in 10,000 miles over 2 years. So that's not, it's not great.
£1 a mile.
It's not super bad. But I asked Tim about his FF and he did 20,000 miles 2 years, and it cost him £10,000 it cost him 20 grand.
So it cost him the same amount, but he had an FF.
Yeah. Okay, a slightly shorter
but then
time period.
Fuel, insurance, all that stuff.
There's a lot of other stuff, but he's driving an FF.
Yeah.
And I'm driving a 2 Series.
Yeah.
And let's say you get a Ferrari, you get 7 years free servicing and maintenance. Yeah. So this is like there's loads of stuff when you look at it. If you buy right, there's a chance that if you bought an F12 and you did 5,000 miles a year or something in it, which I could perfectly see that sort of thing happening, it would cost me the same as driving my M2.
Yeah, which is nuts. I like that option.
Obviously, significantly more money.
Nice.
Like, but also to do it. But also you're driving a V12 baller car around.
Yeah. Well, I think what would be very baller is a manual DBS as your daily. Would be so sick.
I think it would slightly annoy, like daily in London daily.
Yeah, that's true. In London, yeah.
I think I just want something.
Why don't you get a DBS or F12 and an electric smart car? Genuinely. I've been thinking about this.
Pondered this.
Yeah, because no congestion charge.
Yeah.
Parking's so cheap.
Yeah. You can charge it up.
Love it. You can charge it up. So all the money you'll save on all of that goes into your...
Yeah.
And then...
You're helping the environment.
You're helping the environment. But then you've got a V12 as well. So it's kind of like you're just evening it out.
Yeah, but it depends on how much... Like people look at lots of cars and you pay... Like I pay... Just had some tax bills for cars that come through, like my GT3 RS and stuff like that. And like, I pay a ton of road tax on that, but road tax is not based on the amount of miles you drive.
Yeah.
So those cars, okay, sob story or whatever, but they don't get driven very often.
Yeah.
And you pay a lot of road tax for it. Whereas, so that's not actually bad for the roads or the environment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And if I get my little electric scooter around.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Well, I mean, honestly, that's what I do because I think you can then have a really cool car that you drive, not completely, when it's literally just to drive around London and daily or whatever, then you use your smart. But if it's to go out for a nice dinner or do anything, you use
the other one.
Your V12 and you've got it here, let's say.
Yeah.
Because you can leave the smart on the street, right? You don't need to use your garage for that. So you can leave one car in the garage, leave a smart on the street.
DBS wouldn't fit in the garage.
Problem.
F12 wouldn't fit in the garage.
Yeah, that's true.
That's annoying. I would consider, if I had that sort of car, I would consider parking it on the street. People do around here. I probably wouldn't sleep very well. But
yeah, that's the only thing. There's no way it would fit. Yeah, it would just be a pain, especially if the plan is to use it almost as a daily.
No, not necessarily like as a daily, but if I'm going somewhere for the weekend, I'd take that car.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to the track to race your radical. Think about how nice it'd be to take an F12 with DBS.
That'd be sick.
It'd be so sick.
But I genuinely thought about getting like sell the M2. Part of me goes like, okay, maybe you should get like an S-Class coupe, like a car, like a 3-year-old S-Class coupe or something like
that. They're quite cheap. Again, everything's relative, but
yeah, I mean they're not cheap, but they're not.
They'll keep losing though.
They're not 200 grand or whatever.
Yeah.
And then that would be really comfy, loads of space, blah 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 blah.
But you'll keep losing. You'll lose just as much as you'd lose, if not more.
Okay, but there is one factor as well. So I think potentially I like the idea of having like an up GTI, something like that.
Yeah,
as like a little town car that's kind of fun, and maybe you can take it out of place if you want, whatever. And then having a nicer car, because you don't always want to turn up somewhere in an F12.
No.
Like you're the guy that's turned up in an F12, and I'm just like, who's this?
Yeah.
Dude, we're going karting, like piss off.
Yeah, exactly. No, I know what you mean. Well, that's like I've got the Twizy in Monaco, just outside Monaco. But
that's great. I like the Twizy.
You can't really have one here though, because of the weather and stuff. But it's amazing because whenever I had the Lotus or when we had press cars and stuff, I would just when I was going to go meet up with my friends or any normal scenario, take the Twizy, loved it, park it anywhere, doesn't cost anything. And you don't really put many miles on it because I've had that car since I was 18. So it's been 4 years. I drive it. My parents drive it. My sister drives it. It's got 6,000 kilometers on it.
Yeah.
6,500 kilometers. Every day it
gets every day, yeah. Down the hill, up the hill.
Yeah. But because you're never doing long distance. So Yeah, there's that.
So basically, I'm all over the shop.
Yeah, sounds like you're a bit lost.
But I do like the idea of almost like hitting reset. It was slightly sparked recently. I saw James had done a tweet, and it was, "You've got £1 million to spend on a bunch of cars. What would you buy?" I'm just looking at some people's answers, and then part of me was like, I could just sell everything and buy a different. Like, if I was starting again, what would I buy?
I think also, you only live once, right? So
yeah,
have as many cars as you can.
As many experiences,
right? So if you hit reset, you can be like, right, I've had 5 years or whatever it is with the current setup. I know it's not all of them have kind of switched, but this kind of thing. Why don't I go out and switch things up for now? I think that would be quite cool.
I think I'm very tempted to sort of almost go back to naught.
Yeah.
And like pretty much sell everything. I think I wouldn't sell the old 911 because I like.
Yeah, but also that you spend a lot of time on.
I love it.
Building, right?
Yeah, so. and I still really like it. And I think the only thing I'd sort of might replace that for would be something like a Singer, but the price difference is significant.
How much like yours is Auto Farm, no?
Yeah. Like I paid 90-ish.
Okay. And then Singers are what, like 300, 400?
400-500.
400-500. Oh,
I think if you wanted to buy my car new, as in like someone build something like my car now, it'd probably be about 130.
Okay.
That's just like the cost of building a project like that now. That doesn't necessarily mean it's worth that retail price, secondhand or whatever. But so I'm driving that car at the price I paid for it. Yeah. Like my GT3, in my head, it's a £90,000 car because that's what I paid for it.
Yeah.
And I don't drive it like it's a 200 grand car sort of thing. And as much as I love Singers and I like everything about them, you would then driving a £500,000 car
that's a whole different ordeal, especially because it's not a 500 grand car in terms of if it's a Ferrari or an SVJ where you can get parts for it easily. Like something goes wrong with a Singer, not good, and very expensive.
Yeah, and like, is it worth 500 grand? I don't know.
They're very cool. I mean, they're so unbelievably pretty.
Yeah,
but 500 grand. I mean, that's a lot.
It is worth. I think it is worth. They are worth what they are.
Yeah,
but I don't think my brain can allocate that amount of funds towards one.
It's a lot.
And I think probably what I'll do is keep modifying my old 911 a little bit.
Making that yours. You can hit reset, but you can decide as well. I'm hitting reset, but one of these is becoming a lifetime car. This is
that's tricky though.
Car. Because F40 would be a sick lifetime car. Saying, I've had that F40 for 35 years. But then again,
But then you could be like, I've owned, let's just say, you have the F40, you sold it, you had a Carrera GT for 3 years, you sold it, you bought a Zonda, like you sold it, you bought something else, you sold it. You've had a whole bunch of different memories, a whole bunch of different cars.
Yeah, that's also sick. Because the only way you could keep the 40 is if you just put it away, basically. Or else you're just going to put too many miles on it, realistically.
Yeah, I don't think it's reasonably low mileage. I could do 1,500 miles a year forever, wouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
But I wouldn't. In my head, I wouldn't allow myself to do that.
Yeah.
It's got too expensive for me to drive, basically.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Whereas if you keep changing, not talking every year, but every 3-4 years, whatever, you can enjoy, you can be like, right, I'm getting a CGT. I'm going to put 5,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
Fine. I'll keep it for 3 years. I'll put 5,000 miles on it. You're going to have a lot of good times with that.
You have a lot of good times.
Then you probably sell that. Yeah.
Sell that. Should be worth more than you paid for it.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Because 5,000 miles won't make a big difference.
No. So as long as you buy right and sell right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. But I like the idea. It's a difficult one to sort of.
It's a hard pill to swallow.
To do. But there's definitely cars I would love to experience at some point. The one on my list, which almost makes me want to sell the Porsche less, the GT3 RS, is I really want to own a Speciale at some point in time.
Yeah.
And I kind of like the idea of having them both because they are the sort of the same years.
Yeah.
the competitor of the Ferrari. One's manual, one's paddles.
Yeah. But then would you... So what would you have to sell for that?
No, so I think let's just say, I don't know. I need to go back to naught. My problem
Especially
with the GT3
very cool.
is like, what if in 10 years' time I still want to have that GT3? I don't think I'd be able to buy it again.
You'd be able to buy one. Be spending, 180 grand.
But at that point in time, your nostalgia and whatever, if you want one and that's what they're worth, that's what they're worth. They could be worth loads more or whatever. But I have a special attachment to that car now.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And also because there aren't very many that are blue and silver.
Yeah, it is a tricky one. It is a tricky one. But I don't pros and cons for everything.
I don't think you can live in the what if world though.
Yeah.
I don't think if at the time you're like, it's great, it's awesome. Maybe sell it to someone that I know where it's going, so that if I wanted to go and see it, I could go and see it, and like potentially buy it back off them in 5 years' time or whatever.
I mean, Tim will probably buy it. He seems to be buying many things now. So just offer. He
will not be buying a 997 GT3 RS. James might buy it.
James could buy it. Yeah, I saw a 4 litre yesterday. Don't know where that's come from, but I did see a 4 litre. They're cool.
They are cool.
How much are they now? 350.
350. They've sort of been that price.
Yeah, they are cool. Yeah, I don't know what for. Yeah, it's hard. I don't know what I'd do if I were you.
Anyway, that's a solid rabbit hole. But I like the idea of going back to naught and then
see what you do from there.
And then just deciding again from then. So yeah, you got this Kia.
I do have a Kia.
So it's a Kia Stinger.
It's a Kia Stinger GTS. I think it was the first one in the UK, the one I've got, which is a press car.
Mm-hmm.
I don't own that car. I went on a trip, which was, it was myself, Archie, and Becky went on a trip with Kia, and whoever got the best engagement on their photos won one of these cars for 6 months.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago now.
Yeah, it was more than 6 months.
Yeah, that was more than 6 months. So I got it for 6 months. They enjoyed what we did, extended for longer. And I don't really know how long I've got it for now, but I've wrapped it.
Yeah.
I've topaz skinned the wheels and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
And it's a hard thing because every time I make a video on that car, and again, you should drive that and you'll see what I'm talking about. As I say, for the money, this car is actually brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, fantastic.
How much? Where does it sit? I guess it's where does it sit? It's about 35 grand and it's pitched at like M3.
Yeah, kind of. It's
Julia Quadrifoglio type stuff ish.
No, not
a bit
quite. A bit below because it's 365 horsepower.
So it's like a 340i or something like that.
Yeah, but there's so much in that car. Like it's massive, so it's so practical. You got heated seats in the back, 360 cameras, Harman and Kardon, Alcantara headlining. It's got everything. Like you really feel you're in a really, really nice car. But the thing is, because it's not a press, a loan car, as soon as I say that, everyone's like, you're just saying
it's an advert.
But they haven't paid me anything for the car. They're just giving me the car. And
which is still sweet.
Which is still really sweet. But they were so nice and they said, just say what you feel. We're not going to tell you what to say. Like if there are bits you don't like about it, put that out there. It's fine. But I genuinely really, really, really like that car. To the point where I'm like, I would almost, if they took it back, offer them for that one
money to keep it,
or see like, look, can I just buy this and keep it? Because I think it's just fantastic. So yeah, I think it's cool. I think it looks great as well. I don't know if you...
Yeah, it's quite interesting. I remember however long it was ago, about the time where it was about 2 weeks before this event, I had an email from someone saying, oh, we're putting together this event for Kia or whatever. We need a photographer.
Oh, yeah.
And so then I looked up what the hell a Kia Stinger was. And by all the reviews and stuff I'd seen, everyone was like, it's pretty good. Like it's good. Like it's a good car. It just has the stigma of the brand that no one really knows about them or whatever.
When you think about it, they knit the guy from BMW M. So he developed the car. So it's very M feeling. They made their own double clutch gearbox. They didn't just go take another one, and it's a good gearbox. It looks great. It's got the Kia 7-year warranty.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know, makes sense for that kind of money. The only thing, I guess, it's kind of sad to say, but it is, as you said, the stigma of Kia. So yeah.
But no, well, so you
I like that.
Like
I really like it, and it's a good combo having that and the Alpine now. And what I'll do is, I think, that will go at some point. I can't bank on having that.
Yeah.
And the Alpine will go, and then I think I will get a daily run around here, and whatever I end up getting for the supercar. I need to see how much I can afford because I'm moving into this new place.
Do you not think potentially just having one car?
Well, I kind of want one in France, and I want one here. What I may do is just have one car and then have a up GTI or a smart electric here.
Or try and get press cars or whatever.
Yeah, because at the moment I'm going to have 2 parking spaces with my place, but I can also get rid of one and it'll save me a lot of money. So, I'm lucky enough to have that luxury of having the house in the south of France. So I could leave a car there because the roads are just ridiculous. Yeah. And I go there once a month anyways.
Okay.
And drive that down there. That's
kind of an opportunity to drive something cool down there.
Yeah, exactly. And then here is where you get most of the press cars, right?
Yeah.
So then I just get press cars when I'm here. And have a little run around to avoid congestion charge. Bloody congestion charge. Costs a fortune.
Yeah, but if you don't drive in the congestion charge zone,
then you're fine.
And if you live within it, it's also not a problem.
Yeah. I drive through it quite a bit though. But although I'm going to be Chelsea area.
Yeah, so
it's fine.
You'll have a Chelsea permit and you won't leave the borough.
Yeah. It's nuts. Everyone who lives in Chelsea Fulham never leaves, do they? I've noticed this, like
a lot of people don't.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to become one of them.
Well, it depends what you drive around for. Like if
I drive around mainly just meetings and stuff.
Yeah. You could take public transport.
Yeah, I do. I do most of the time as well. But yeah, I don't know. It depends. Like if I'm going...
Depends where you're going.
Yeah, really depends. But I probably do 50-50 public, like tube and driving.
Yeah.
It's probably the way. Do you tube a lot?
I try and not tube.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily drive as a replacement, but I try and not tube. I don't have to go into central London that often.
But why do you avoid the tube?
I just don't.
You don't like
it? It's also really bad for you. My girlfriend is doing a PhD at the moment. She's studying pollutants in Wales and stuff like that. Anyway, she had this meter for a day that measures pollution levels, and we went and did like a bunch of stuff. And like, let's just say standing on the street outside my house, it's this level here, 0 or 10 or something.
Yeah.
And then we went in the old 911. She stood behind it for a bit. It's got no cats, no nothing. So that went up to like 50 or something. Then we went and drove around, and it sort of operated around that 10, 15, 20 level. Yeah. And then she went on the tube, and she went to where she works, and it went from, let's say, getting in the car was like 50 or whatever. It was like 800. Going down into the tube is like horrific from a pollution point of view.
Oh, that's
sorry for people that commute on the tube, but you should know it's really bad down there.
Wow.
Like way worse than if you're standing on the street and there's a bus nearby and you think it's bad on the street, the tube is like 5 times worse.
Wow. Yeah, you wouldn't think of it as, I mean, it's not going to be great, but that bad.
Yeah.
I thought when you were saying 10, 50, I thought it was like, okay, it's going to be 200. But
yeah, it's literally like the scales of like normal stuff's here and the tube's like up there.
That's scary. That is scary.
But I don't have to go into central very often. So
yeah, so you're fine.
Yeah,
you build your life around. Yeah,
get my little electric scooter around.
This new place I'm getting, we're going to have an office in the apartment.
Yeah.
And everyone who works for all the different projects are just going to come to the office, right?
Sweet.
So I'm literally just going to be based out of there. Girlfriend's going to live there. Everything will be there. So
yeah, and then other than that, you're going to airports or
airports where I will train every time.
Yeah.
So easy.
Oof.
You got any
more
iPad stuff going?
Any more? Yeah, so I'll just have a little skim through the iPad.
They're nice, these podcasts. I enjoy these podcasts.
Yeah. How long do you think we've been going for?
How long do an hour, over an hour easily.
Yeah, we're an hour 55.
An hour. I was going to say like an hour 26.
Yeah.
An hour 55.
It's kind of crazy. But I think we sort of
with Alejandro, and that was 2.5 hours. I think.
Yeah.
It was Alejandro, Farshad, Paul, and I.
Yeah. Just chat.
Just chat.
Just keeps going, doesn't it?
Chat. They chatted about
and
weed.
people listen.
It's literally just chatted about weed. But no, they're amazing, lovely guys. People do listen. Well, if you're still here, thank you.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Right. So I normally. We've got some little news bits. So discussing news items of the week or of the last, God knows, since I looked this up. So Ferrari are releasing a new car.
A whole new model.
Potentially, it's going to sit above the Superfast. So maybe it's going to be super fast. Yeah, mid-engined
V12
hybrid V8.
Oh, okay.
Which I thought the F8 was going to be. I thought that was going to be a hybrid V8.
So it's basically a bigger F8.
Yeah. Somewhere between that and a LAF.
Yeah.
And
okay, cool.
The rumored numbers. It comes out in like 2 weeks, something like that.
Okay.
Vague price, 600 grand. I don't know whether that's plus options. It probably is plus options.
Yeah. Which means 700 grand.
Yeah. So it says sort of Senna, bit less than Senna, but you know, that sort of price bracket. There's the rumors, the numbers I'm hearing are like 986. That was quite a specific number of horsepower.
God, that's a lot of power.
So it's going to
be between SVJ and Senna. Money.
Yeah.
And performance. Oh, well, no. It's got 986 horsepower. It'll be above Senna.
Should be above Senna. Whether it will have it won't have as crazy aero.
Yeah, it won't have crazy aero.
Because like...
You know what? It is a real... I'm disappointed it's not V12. I've been saying if Ferrari made a V12 mid-engined, you don't get any of those apart from the Aventador for under £1 million.
Yeah. But
think about it.
But they make the laugh and that's the top of the range and that's multi-million. It would be cool.
V10 would have been cool.
I do think V12 mid-engine, as much as that would be awesome, would be awesome. It is a very heavy combination.
Option,
but then I'm sure...
I mean, this could be interesting for... Well, no, I guess you don't want a new car. I was going to say for you, I mean, if it's sick and it's very... Oh, well, no, because you're never going to be able to get one, are you? Because you need to have own 5...
You need to say what car you're talking about.
The Ferrari mid-engine...
Oh, right.
Thing.
This thing.
Yeah.
I don't think I would get one.
Yeah.
But also, they've said it's like normal production.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then they'll make a special version.
They'll make 3,000 of them.
Oh, that's interesting.
Or they'll make how many people order.
Yeah. It's like Aventador.
Aventador,
but
double the money.
Aventador. Yeah, double.
I bet it'll be pretty sick to drive, but it'll be too fast. It'll
also be...
You drive something like a Speciale, you don't think, I need a ton more horsepower.
Yeah. It'll come out, everyone will be like, this looks really weird, and then 2 months later, everyone will love it.
Yeah.
Because that's always the way.
And then all the Ferrari fanboys will be lining up to buy one, saying, please, let me buy one.
They've probably already bought.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah. True. Probably already bought them.
What were we even talking about? They've already sold out.
Yeah, exactly. No, you can't even get one. That's sick, though. That's cool.
That's interesting. I think it's interesting. Hopefully, when the F8 came out, I looked at it and went, nah, cool, next.
I think it looks amazing.
Yeah, but
I think it looks. I drove a 488 around for a while, and it was great. It's a fantastic car. It just doesn't give you goosebumps.
That's it. That was it.
Whereas Speciale is just absurd. That's my favorite car.
Yeah.
Speciale.
If they put I just want that drivetrain. So if the Pista had the Speciale drivetrain.
Have you driven a Pista?
No.
Okay. That's nuts. That's messed up fast.
Yeah, but is it?
But it's not as exciting. No, it's not as exciting. Yeah. I mean, Speciale Aperta, let's not talk about the price because they're absurdly expensive.
Yeah.
But a Speciale Aperta on a French twisty or an Alpine road, I mean, that's just the dream.
Although,
you kind of want...
Why have they not got a carbon tub?
Yeah.
Wishy-washy flexi.
Yeah.
I mean, not tons, but
still.
Supposedly noticeable.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think
it's still,
roof down to me brings more than maybe it's a little bit more
for
flex.
Sure.
But, I think if you're a really a ridiculous driver, right? and you do track all the time, you can probably feel it, but I'm not going to feel it.
But then you just accept. Like I'm just finding like now, as I drive cars and I treat them for whatever they are. You just accept what they are, and you go like, this is the driving experience, and that could be good, could be bad. Like drive a rental car, still have fun.
Yeah, have a great time. But imagine that Speciale Aperta Novitec exhaust mountain road.
Yeah, it'd be sick. With the walls on either side.
Yeah.
So that's Porsche Speedster. You've seen these things going around.
Yeah. They're finally coming out because they've been like, it's been like 2 years that they've been coming out. 1290 or something they're making of them. It's
like 1948 or something. Yeah. Whatever. So, something like that.
I think they're cool. I think they're expensive. Very, very cool. Yeah? How expensive?
List price is like £210.
Okay, very expensive. Yeah.
Considering what a GT3 costs, and it is a special project. I think what they've done with this car is they've just removed the flippers from the market and gone, this is probably what people will pay for this car. So let's just price it accordingly.
Yeah.
And see who buys it. And if people don't buy it, they don't buy it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. But they will. They'll be sold.
I think more people, I don't think people will buy it to flip.
I don't think they'll go crazy high.
Because the production number's significant.
Yeah.
And the initial price is probably where the flip would have come out.
Yeah.
Or like, maybe 250, 240.
Yeah.
But
yeah, if they'd said we're going to make 900 of these and they're going to cost 180 grand or 160 grand.
Even,
then that would have gone.
Yeah, for sure.
But now, no. I think it'll be a great car. It'll be amazing to drive. It'll look incredible. There'll be some great specs, PTS specs. That's about it. Doesn't make me go like, I'm so happy. Like if it wasn't coming out, I wouldn't really.
It doesn't suit. None of the Speedsters are particularly interested me. I like the idea of what it is. Like roof down, GT3 engine, manual, in a car. Like,
well, the 997 Speedster's doing quite well. Right?
But that's just like a C2S.
Yeah. Well, it's like the Sport Classic. Same thing.
Yeah, that's a C2S as well.
Yeah. They're nice though.
Look cool though.
Yeah.
But like not particularly interesting to me.
I'm glad they're releasing that. They've also done that Cayenne Coupe thing recently, Porsche.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. I like that. It's sort of like the M6, whatever, Q6 type. X6M.
That's the one.
That's the one.
Get there. But yeah, I think that'll be cool. And they'll sell like hotcakes, those. Because, it's like Urus is now over 50% of Lamborghini production.
But would you buy the coupe over the normal
Cayenne?
Normal Cayenne. I
saw a photo. I think it looks quite cool. I think maybe. But maybe it's just because I'm kind of bored of the way the Cayenne looks that you like whatever's new and in 2 years.
You just have, I think there's some spec stuff that's a bit different in it. But other than that, it's pretty much the same.
Logically, I'd have space in the Cayenne. The normal one.
I just have the Cayenne.
Right now, if it was my money, I'd probably go get the coupe just because it's new.
Yeah. Yeah. And be rarer and all that sort of stuff. Okay, going back to Aston Martin. They released, not that long ago, the Vantage AMR edition.
With a
manual gearbox.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is cool.
That is very
It's very expensive.
Actually. Oh, I'm not surprised. How much is that?
I think it's 2 something.
2? And it's a Vantage. They haven't added any power.
It's at least it's like 185 plus.
Wow. Okay.
But it's one of 50 or 100 or...
Oh, it's super limited.
Yeah, and it's their AMR.
They're going to make the manual of it anyway.
Yes.
So I just wait for that.
Yeah.
AMR is cool. I drove the last AMR van, the one TG has.
Yeah.
I drove that. And it was great. It was really cool. But you could very easily just buy a V8 Vantage S, kind of modify it a bit.
Yeah.
Wrap it, and there you go. As long as it's mostly spec. It's like a Turbo S exclusive series, right? It's just spec. That they don't offer you on other ones. So I think very, very cool. And it shows that they will be doing cool things with this manual Vantage now for the future of the Vantage series.
That got like the Vantage I sort of forgot about for about a year. And then when I was talking to James recently, he was like, oh, why didn't you get a Vantage? And I was like, in my head, they were really expensive. And then I've started looking and they're not. They're like
a Vantage
they're like
double clutch is
120 or something.
Yeah.
I thought they were like 180. There's a lot of cars
around that money. There's a lot. There's Hurricanes. Meh. There's Vantage. There's what else is there? There's R8s.
All the Porsches or whatever.
All the Porsches. 570Ss now. are around that money. There's a lot of options around there.
There are.
I mean, to be honest, if you're going to do long distance, just coming back to this quickly, we'll take a quick little. If you're going to do long distance and you're going to drive this car kind of daily-ish, like a 720S is a brilliant car for that.
Yeah.
And then if you're taking it around the track, it will annihilate pretty much everything else.
It would do the flappy paddle sports car, but it's not like quite often, let's say I'm going to go and do a podcast or I'm going to the racetrack and stuff. I actually need quite a lot of space.
Yeah.
Which is a bit more than you'd have in a 720.
Yeah.
But something like a 720 Spider or a 600 LT Spider, 720 Spiders though, like 720 has just come down so much in price that you can't
they're so expensive.
In like 6 months' time, you're like, oh, that would be, you'll be able to get one for 160 or something.
You can already get.
You can get 720, but how much is the Spider?
Mate, I drove the Spider that I drove list price, like out of the factory, was £335,000.
And how much is the cheapest Spider now? I think they're still, because they're pretty new.
They're over 2.
Yeah.
But still 40.
Yeah, but so there's lost like 100 grand.
I know. If that's the fastest way to lose money is to buy that
car new,
or that car new, or like the new Continental or the DBS, Mulsanne Speed. Buy one of those new, drive it out, lose 200 grand.
Or like the Mercedes S65 or SL65 or something like that.
It's like sometimes I see people, I'm like, are you actually trying to lose money?
Yeah.
Because they're like, so I've just put a Mulsanne Continental S65
Phantom
and a Phantom extended wheelbase. I'm like, what, do you have too much? You're trying to get rid of it?
A year on, that car is exactly the same and so much cheaper.
Yeah, exactly. So literally just, and they're like, yes, but I wanted blue pinstriping.
But we need people to buy these cars new,
so that we can
buy them secondhand.
So so brilliant. Keep going.
So what else has been going on? There's been a couple of stuff going around the ring. That VW IDR, the Pikes Peaks car.
Okay.
It's going to go for a record. I'm sure it'll be fast. Whether it'll beat that Porsche,
I don't know. That Porsche is unlikely. Impressive.
They've seen the new AMG GT Black Series.
Yeah,
that's coming.
That will be cool.
That will be cool. I like the AMG
because the AMG GTR Pro was just body kit. They didn't really do any engine mods to it. Whereas this will be, I think Black Series as like a branch is so cool.
Yeah, like it's always the mad. It's just mad.
I haven't not liked Black Series. CLK Black Series, sick.
Yeah.
C63 Black Series, awesome. And so SLS Black Series. It's just so now that they're doing one on an AMG GT, I'm really excited for that.
I hope it's as nuts as all the other ones.
I hope so. I think it could very well be. And I mean, they look cool already. AMG GTR Pros, right?
Yeah, they're just cool.
So if they go full Black Series and do like the wheel arches and all that stuff, that could be sick. I hope they make it nuts.
I hope it's like 750 horsepower.
750 horsepower, massive wheel arches, stupid bucket seats, carbon everywhere. And I want them to make like 6 of them.
Yeah.
So they're super limited.
Exactly.
That would be brilliant.
Yeah, that would be cool. Right. I normally finish up the podcast with 5-ish questions. You've actually answered one of them almost to the word.
Your something's gone.
Okay. So first one, do you have a most memorable driving trip or journey that you've done?
A journey, Gumball.
First one?
No, the one in my car. I did one with Tim and I did one in that would probably be it. Because I think I'm the youngest person ever to have taken their own car on Gumball.
How old were you at the time?
18. I think 18.
I mean, you can't get much 19, younger than that.
19.
Someone must have done it younger. Yeah,
no, because I did it with Tim when I was 18 and 19. Yeah, but people have done it younger, but in their own car. I don't know.
Yeah. You're definitely probably one of the only people to have done it in a Lotus.
Yeah, that would probably be it, just because that was insane. So yeah, I'd say that.
That was a good trip. I was dead.
Yeah.
After that trip.
Yeah, James was.
I mean, James really was dead.
Yeah. We nearly did kill James. I'd say that, or I took the Batmobile across Europe once solo, which was interesting.
That's pretty jokes.
Yeah. That was insane. Like I remember doing péage And every time having to open that door, climb out, do it, and then have to climb back in to get through the peage quickly. But every peage was like so close with both tires. And that was nuts. Actually, we're going to be doing something soon with that again.
So anyone that doesn't know what this car is, it's if you search Team Galag and Batmobile, is there any way of distinguishing this new one versus the old one in terms of I mean, what you search for?
It's what comes up. The old one doesn't really come up when you search for it anymore.
So if there's a video in the last 3 years, it'll be this. It will
be this, yeah. It's a V10 Gallardo base, full carbon fiber, massive lump of excess, and it's epic.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's really, really, really cool. But I've never witnessed anything get more attention than that car. Like, we all know the driving on a long trip, you need to pee halfway through the trip, right? So I was with Paul. He was driving his AMG GTS at the time. I was in the Batmobile. We were driving through the Alps, and all of a sudden I'm like, I need to pull over at this. There's no one. We haven't crossed the car for like 10 minutes. So I kind of go off the road down like a little hill, go pee, come back up. There's like 15 cars stopped looking at them. I'm like, where have you all I haven't seen anyone for the last hour, and you've all just popped out of nowhere. So that's the kind of thing that car will get. It is nuts.
Unreal amounts of attention. It's a cool thing. And the thing that shocked me with that one, not the first one, was it just worked.
It works perfectly.
Like, it just works. Like this thing, you look at it and it's straight out of a movie, and then it just starts up. Just drives 3,000 miles. Done.
No problem.
Until you fill it with diesel. I've had it where the speakers stopped working and the aircon stopped working, and it was summer, 35 degrees in Monaco, and the whole cockpit's glass. So it's effectively a massive sauna. Ouch.
That was fun.
I mean, yeah.
And that was actually, there was like a 3-day period where I didn't drive much, but the Twizy was having a service. My parents' Mercedes C-Class was having a service, and I had the Batmobile at the house. So the only car I had genuinely at the time was the Batmobile. And so I'd go, to get milk or whatever in this Batmobile. And the police stopped me once. They were like, "Where are you going? Are you filming a movie? So I'm just getting eggs." And they were like, "In a Batmobile?" I was like, "Yeah, only car I've got." And they were like, "How is that the only car you have?" And I was like, "Well, first of all, it's not mine, but yeah, this is it." So, kind of hilarious.
That's pretty good. Okay, next question. 5-car garage.
Oh, God,
unlimited value,
hard.
And the only caveat is it has to fit into your current life, as in like where you live and usage sort of thing.
Can I do it where I'm moving?
Yeah.
Okay, because where I live now, I guess same thing.
I mean, obviously, you've got parking spaces for this imaginary 5 cars.
Okay. Zonda, Lewis's Zonda.
Yeah.
Boom, done.
Tick.
Phantom long wheelbase with a driver.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd do that as
nice.
That would be my daily, which would be hilarious. Speciale Aperta Novitec.
Yeah.
300 SL Gullwing.
Ooh.
Probably. Or
that's your cool old car.
Yeah. Or DB5.
Okay.
Or Singer.
Ooh.
One of those. Oh God. So I have to pick now, don't I?
Yeah.
Singer, maybe, actually. Yeah.
And then you've got one more.
Then I got one more. Because I would
still have the Twizy.
Yes, yeah. Zonda would be like very special occasions. EWB would be just for driving around, basically, because you've got a driver at that point, so you don't need to park it. Speciale Aperta would be like my almost daily supercar.
Yeah.
I don't have kids, so I don't need
4 seats. So, you still got the Phantom.
Yeah. Then maybe either 599 GTO.
Oh.
Or how unlimited is it? Because if it's unlimited, I'll just get La Aperta.
You can have a La Aperta if you want.
Okay, yeah, La Aperta.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, if it's strictly
so
unlimited,
at that point in time, you have no fly under the radar.
Yeah.
Like your fly under the radar is being driven by someone in a massive Phantom.
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, like honestly,
fair enough.
At that point, I'd just be like, whatever. Because imagine, like, I would leave, like, I'd probably have the La Aperta here and the Zonda in Monaco.
Yeah, you'd be having a great time.
use the Phantom to go between the two. Then what else was there? The Singer. I just use that once in a while. And then...
Fair enough. No race car, no nothing like that?
No.
Or track car or anything? Oh, God,
yeah, actually that, yeah. I really, really, really want to get into racing. It's like my biggest, what I want to do. It's just super expensive. And, I don't know how, so I really want to set up something with sponsors, or I don't know how.
Try and work it out somehow.
Because I don't think I'd be amazing, but I think I could get around and do all right. I've got the right physique. So like when I go karting, usually do okay on a go-kart track. Yeah. And so I think, it's more than just wanting to get the experience. I want to develop that further. Yeah. So I spoke to Nico Rosberg about it.
He does a bit of racing, or did?
Yeah, he did a bit of racing. So we went karting with him and Massa, etc. And anyway, so I was 1/10 behind Massa, 1/10 in front of Nico. And then he was like, what racing have you done? I was like, I haven't done any racing. He was like, you should get into racing. So since then, I'd never knew that was even an option. Yeah. I've looked into it and I was like, okay, that means nothing, right? We were in go-karts, rentals, maybe his tires are screwed. Like it means nothing.
But you've got a vague idea, like...
I know that I wouldn't be all the way at the back if I just went in the standard karting thing. So that's something I really want to do. So whether it's just get a go-kart or I don't know.
What you should do is you should enter one of the 24-hour C1 Citroen races. Yeah? I did the 24-hour race at Silverstone 2 weeks ago. Yeah? With a couple of mates.
How much is that?
It's about... It depends how you do it, but we rented a car and it was about £1,800 each. Okay. And that's 4 or 5 hours of driving each. Wow. And that's everything.
And is there qualifying, practice? There's everything. That's for a whole weekend?
Yeah. So it's 24 hours of racing. Yeah. There's no practice, but we did Friday. Some of the guys drove on Friday. We also took the car to a track day a week before. So some of us drove then, some drove on the Friday. Yeah. And I think it was £300 each when there was three of us for the day. Yeah. But then, for that £1,800, we had a car, we had a team looking after it. That was all fuel, all tires, like everything. We had to pay for our own accommodation and food or whatever. Yeah, but that was like most stuff. And we had qualifying and then a lot of night wet racing.
That was sick. Really cool.
It was sick.
I mean, like just on a one-on-one to you, if ever there's anything that pops up like that, let me know because I'd be interested in doing something like that.
You have to get your race license.
I've got my race license.
Have you done any racing?
No.
You got to do some racing.
Yes, I got to do some racing.
Like,
but I got the race license. Yeah, but you can't just hop into a car.
You're not coming in with a 5-man team yet.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. Well, because
not because you wouldn't be quick.
No, but there's
you don't have the experience.
And that I think makes the biggest difference. Like you can be like have the physique, have the mentality. You can be good on like a fucking race sim or whatever it may be. Yeah. But then actually having the experience on having the like spatial awareness at a start, knowing like, okay, when is it good to box? When is it good to put the wet tire? Like all that stuff. I think you need is to get experience.
So much you learn, and you learn it. You do learn a lot, like having a karting race and about being quick and all that sort of stuff. But for example, in like an endurance race, you've got even like I'm learning loads. I haven't done very much of it, but I've done a reasonable amount of racing now. Yeah. I don't know, like 15, 20 races in total or something. Yeah. Just being aware of other cars, like doing what the hell they want to do, not what you want to do. And people don't just let you pass. All that sort of stuff, which you sort of learn karting. But when you're in a car,
it's different.
You don't give a shit. Like no one gives a shit in a car because you just don't. Whereas if you're in a car where ideally you want to be in a car that you don't care about too much. Obviously you never want to hit anyone.
But you still care about it.
But you don't want to go like if I crash my Radical, that's a really, really, really bad day. Yeah. Like that is expensive. If you touch another car, that's very expensive. Yeah. So depending on what you're racing, whether that's the case or not, if someone else is paying for it, then fine. But you notice people that are not paying for it because they drive very differently to people that are paying for it. Yeah. But all of that sort of stuff is in the back of your mind whilst you're racing, and you don't really want
What is the rule? Like, how does it work if you crash into someone or someone crashes into you on the track?
It depends.
Is it like an unwritten rule where they pay for your car?
No.
You pay for it.
You pay for your own stuff.
Right.
You are 100% liable for your car when you're racing.
So you can just have bad luck. So you're driving, have bad luck. Some guy has a brake failure behind you, smacks into you.
Yeah, punts you into a wall.
Yeah.
Costs you whatever it costs you.
A lot of money.
You have insurance or you don't have insurance. Some people have insurance, some people don't have insurance. It's a tricky situation. And I think and some people do offer to pay for bits for other cars and stuff like that, but the general rule is you're responsible and you can generally drive accordingly.
Yeah. And then I'm sure you can tell the people who are doing really punchy overtakes.
Yeah, just let them go past.
No.
If people are really crazy.
Yeah.
But in an endurance race, so I used to only do sprint races, which were between 20 and 45 minutes long-ish, generally 25 minutes. It's basically flat out. And that's just flat out. Like you've got to get in front of everyone. You don't want to let anyone past. Whereas an endurance race, I'm slowly learning over time that it's the way to win an endurance race is be moderately fast, but not have an incident.
Not have an incident and have a good strategy as well.
And like the strategy not to suck.
Yeah.
But not have an incident. Like we had someone, a car span in front of him. He tried to go round, ended up sliding sideways into the gravel. Car rolled. Like just onto its side. And that we lost half an hour, which was 10 laps. And
yeah, done.
Yeah, that was it. Done.
Yeah, it is hard, isn't it? And were you running towards the top?
We had the pace to be top 10.
Yeah.
Out of 99.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the thing is, it is tricky because karting is a different thing. A whole different beast because you don't care.
But if you're fast in a car and you apply the same logic to driving a car, the balance is balance of cars is different and dealing with like lock and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But using a track to its max is, and the car to being on the limit all the time. Yeah. People who are very good in karts get in cars and are very quick in cars straight away.
Yeah, well, because karts are brutal, aren't they? They're violent.
Yeah.
Because I spent a lot of time in karts, and I remember when I was younger, I had a helmet that was too big for me, and I was driving this race kart, and I had to drive with one hand because I had to hold the helmet down. And then when I'd brake, I would need to push the helmet back up. Right?
Sounds safe.
Yeah, really safe. And that was really fun because then I literally learned how to. Now I've kept that. It was just scary. I've almost kept that where I almost just drive with one hand now when I'm karting because I've just got all it's a weird thing. But anywho, karting, you do learn a lot for sure. So I'd maybe have a race car in my roster of 5 cars.
Or a track car or something.
I'd maybe sack off the GTO or TDF that I'd put as my 5th car and have...
I think one of the best things about racing actually, and it's quite a lot of people buy a race car and then only race that car. And as time goes on, I'm actually realizing that, say with endurance racing or whatever, it actually makes a bit more sense. If you don't know exactly what series you want to do or whatever, it's just hiring the car for the weekend. It doesn't cost a ton extra to not own the car.
Yeah.
And then you can just pick and choose. Like we want to do a C1 race, we borrow a C1 for the weekend.
You get to also build your experience in terms of
different cars,
a driver,
which is huge.
And then developing cars is a massive part of it. So like getting the car, knowing how to set up a car, not just a specific car, but all different types of cars.
Yeah, I've found my driving has improved significantly since I've driven a lot of different cars and then also raced and driven a lot of different cars on track. Like a front wheel drive car, rear wheel drive car, high downforce, no downforce. All those things are all different. And you get people that have driven one car and they are insanely fast in that car. And chances are they'll probably be pretty quick in other stuff. But if you've never driven something with a completely different weight balance, for example, like we were doing my girlfriend's turning 30 next year and she has a list of 30 things before she's 30. And I'm already 30. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll think of a bunch of things I'll do before I'm 40. And there's a couple of like tick box things that I want to do in terms of racing. One is I want to race a Porsche. Like I want to
Porsche Cup kind of thing.
I don't know what, but like I love Porsches. So at some point in time, I've got to race a Porsche. Now, whether it's a classic one or a GT3 car or whatever, it's probably not going to be a GT3 car because it's just damn expensive.
It's so expensive.
But if Porsche wants to let me drive one, that would be great.
You're watching. if you're watching after 2 hours and 10 minutes in.
And then one of them was to compete in a drift competition.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
Because that looks like fun.
Yeah, that would be sick. Drifting is a whole different.
It's very different.
A whole different thing.
But it's all car control.
I enjoy it very much. So when I used to go-kart, I used to always ask to have the car when the tires were done.
Okay, yeah.
And be like, just let me go out. And I would always try and do a whole lap. There was this little go-kart track close to ours. And do the whole lap where not at a single point I was not drifting. So every corner and link them up and stuff like that. But yeah.
And it translates. Like when we were in, the most fun I've had in cars, it's been when we've been in like Sweden or Norway or whatever. Yeah. Just sliding around on the snow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like when I had my old 911 out there and driving down backcountry roads where there's like there's a bit of consequence because you've got trees either side rather than just open space. And you're in your own car and like all that stuff. That's the most fun I've had on four wheels.
So much fun. Yeah, those track days for... Oh, sorry, that's me. Have you heard that my what's it called? Ringtone starts off as the normal iPhone tone and then goes into Narcos. That's right. Yeah, I don't mess about. But yeah, no, drifting definitely. Do you have any other car related ones in your 30?
Those are the two that went in straight away. One was like race a Porsche. I've ticked off. I wanted to do a 24-hour race. I've done 24. I've now done 2. Yeah, I just want to keep having fun.
Keep doing stuff. Yeah. I really actually like the idea of 30 things before you're 30. I think that's cool.
And I like, with cars, I like doing different disciplines.
Yeah.
Like building that ability to do different stuff. Like some people, they've got one trick. They're like, I can go really fast, but they can't slide a car at all. Like, obviously, I want to be able to do all the things because it's fun.
Do all the things. I've got one friend who's a very successful racing driver, Formula One. And anyways, his ability to drift as well is just absurd. And I was like, you're not only good at going around a track really quickly, but you'll be driving, be on his phone, going around a roundabout. And then he's like, oh, we got to go that way. And then just literally one-handed drift of like whatever Ferrari roundabout.
I would hope if I had got to the point where I was an F1 driver, where I would also be that good at other stuff. But it's cool.
Well, it is absurd. Like it is.
And it's 100% a practice thing. Like if you just go and do the practice, you get better.
Yeah.
And the people that are really good.
The thing about practicing is that practicing, you need to find a time and a place.
And for cars, it's normally expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, so that was 5-car garage. It turned into like a 30-minute. That was
the question. I forgot about the question.
Okay, so if you could, next one. There's only like 2 more. If you could drive one car for the rest of your life, and
it has to be.
The caveat on this one, there's always these lot of caveats. Why do I have to put them in? Is you can have like £100 beater that's for putting kids in or whatever, but then you've got one car. What's the one car?
I can also have the beater,
but it's like properly like a proper rotter.
Yeah, I would still go with the Zonda.
Sick.
Because I just think like whatever, like if it's a proper rotter, like just how sick would it be to be like, I've got a 19-year-old Citroen C1 or whatever for the kids, and then myself, I've got a Zonda 760. It's like, yes, lad, you have understood life.
Worth more than my house, but cool. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I would do that.
Okay. Next question: most undervalued car. But you said your most undervalued car earlier.
F40 and CGT.
And final one, what's the most interesting car to you at the moment? As in
intrigues me.
Yeah, like it's been in the news or this year, or the sort of car you find yourself Googling or. right now? And it could be
honestly
anything.
After this, probably that Ferrari mid-engine. I think that's an interesting step because Ferrari have always had mid-engine V8, the big V12, and their Halo car.
Yeah.
And then they brought, with the Scaglietti or whatever, they've had the family one. So Ferrari coming out with a new model.
Yeah. V8, V12, V8, V12.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, it hasn't happened in so long, right? So I'd say that. I think the Urus was interesting when that came out because it was.
Would you have an Urus?
I think it's no. I think it's a good car. I don't think I'd have one.
Yeah.
I'd rather have an R6.
Yeah,
for less
ditto.
money.
New one of them's not that far away.
Yeah, that's another one. I find myself Googling that. I'm intrigued in this new Lotus hypercar.
I just want to see the next normal car.
Yeah. The
hypercar, like, there seem to be a dime a dozen these days.
Oh, one that I find myself Googling and wanting to hear when it's going to come out is Cayman GT4 RS.
Ooh.
Is apparently coming with a manual. Mainly just because someone that I know has got their name down for that and doesn't want it and said they could give me their slot. So that's why I find myself Googling that. That would be
interesting.
A dream.
Well, I can't imagine there's many people that know they've got one coming yet.
This is this person.
So I feel like I know who this person is.
Yeah. I think you know. Yeah.
Do we think it's gonna have a 6-cylinder or a 4-cylinder? Don't know.
I don't know. Don't know.
See, for me, that's a complete game changer.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Or like not necessarily game changer, but like I don't want it if it's got a 4-cylinder.
So game changer effectively. Yeah. I think I would think twice about it if it was 4-cylinder. But I think it would look good. And I think it's a good way to get in Porsche's good books as well.
Badass. How is that a good way to get in their good books?
Get one. Keep it for ages.
Yeah, but they don't care about that.
Yeah,
they want you to buy Cayennes and Panameras and
all the
normal 991 C2Ss.
Yeah.
Like not shitty, but just like
shitty
not special.
Yeah, I mean shitty investment. But they're less Ferrari than that. So they've got their VIP program, and if you get into their VIP program,
that's not in the UK though.
No, apparently it spreads out to Europe as well.
Huh.
I don't know. This is what said person.
This is what you're hearing.
Who seems to know a lot about Porsche. It makes sense that they know a lot about Porsche. Said if you're in the VIP program, you can get slots in different countries effectively. And the way this deal was presented to me was, I don't want this GT4 RS. You can have it, but as a counterpart of that, you're also going to get my VIP program UK slot, which I don't care about because I'm in the US. So then you've got a VIP thing to be able to get Porsches. So I was like, if that all comes together, which sounds like a dream.
Sounds like a no-brainer.
Then of course,
like, do you want to be straight in at the top, buy whatever you like list, and also get a car that is going to be hard to get?
So I was like, yes. Basically.
Yes.
So I was like, he said, look, I don't know when this is all going to come together, but be ready to pounce whenever it is. And I was like, yeah, like I will sell whatever I need to sell at that point to do it. Sell my kidneys. Get rid of those too.
I wonder though, if all of these, with all the new regulations and blah, 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 and all this sort of stuff, like, are we going to keep seeing we're still going to see great cars, but they won't necessarily sound as good as the old cars.
It is worrying.
Like maybe Porsche will just start pricing cars like they've just priced the Speedster and just go, boom, the GT4 RS is £120,000.
Yeah, and there's 9 million of them being made.
Yeah. Because GT4, they've actually made a lot, which I thought was quite cool.
Though. You know what I love is the really Spider. Boxster Spider.
That's a cool car.
That I think is somewhat undervalued as well because they're cheap.
They didn't make that many because people didn't order them.
Yeah. There's another undervalued car right there. I drove one in LA and I loved it. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to see. I think we're living in like a massive time of change in the way you can buy cars with finance and everything. It's lots of cars are so much more obtainable. But I think that's going to end up resulting in there's going to be different ways that people are going to sell cars as well. Because too many people can buy these cars now, which is nuts because they're so expensive.
Yeah. And people are buying them based on the fact that they're assuming they're either going to be worth more or exactly the same.
Well, because everything's become more public, right? So before, no one really knew what was special about a Speciale or whatever. I mean, they used to struggle to sell challenged to Dali's GT3R.
But they struggle to sell like original Veyrons.
Yeah. Whereas now, although they're struggling with Chirons.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, because 500 at 3
That's
million
a lot.
quid. 500 is a lot, right? It's a lot of money.
And there's all this competition as well.
Well, now there's more. Yeah, there's more competition. Yeah. But also, it's something I saw some crazy stat somewhere where,
Of course.
Are we down to one camera? Most people don't buy one Chiron. And that's a genuine
fact, isn't it?
Is that most people will buy two. I was with a guy once who, again, you'll probably know who I'm talking about, who has a Koenigsegg, saw his Koenigsegg in a certain spec, so then decided to order another Chiron because he already had one on order in the same spec. Just because, like the spec of his, bless you. Bless you.
Yeah, why not?
Full microphone sneeze there.
Yeah, kapow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is that all the questions?
That's all the questions.
Let me think if I've got one for you quickly.
You got one for me.
Oh God, I could ask you a very political question right now. Who do you think is currently making the best content online in terms of what do you enjoy watching?
At the moment, I watch a lot of photography stuff.
Okay.
There's a guy called Peter McKinnon.
Yeah.
Who does?
I've heard of him.
He does like video and photography related content.
Yeah.
And it's actually I just find it really good. It's really well made.
Yeah.
And he's kind of funny and I enjoy watching
his videos. Yeah.
If it had to be car related, I still am enjoying the Chris Harris's Top Gear. The online videos.
Carfection.
Carfection are making very good. They're making beautiful videos.
Yeah. Carfection are incredible.
Yeah, and Henry's doing a really good job. They've like put themselves above everyone else, I think, at the moment in terms of what they're making.
Yeah. And it's nuts because, they've got a lot of budget obviously, but not anywhere near what some of the other people have.
Yeah. They've gone and made like really good films.
Interesting films.
Like not necessarily. They've been rewarded for it, but they've chosen to make interesting stuff.
Have they grown a lot? I haven't followed that.
I don't know.
I haven't seen.
And I know they spent a lot of money on it, and it's cool that there are still people out there funding this sort of content because if you're just a content creator, it doesn't. As a solo band, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't stack up.
It's sick. Awesome. Well, that's that.
Well, thanks for
how long was it? Can we check?
Where can people find you? I mean, if they've got to the end, I'm sure they've got Google, but
just anywhere, YouTube,
Seb Delanney,
Instagram, Seb Delanney, or French is Seb Delanney FR.
Ah, okay.
So pretty easy to remember.
Yeah, that is quite easy.
So if you speak French, come on over. I post a daily vlog every day at 6:00 at the moment.
Have you filmed anything today yet?
No. I'm hoping we're going to film something after.
Shit, we need to hurry up actually.
Yeah.
Because I've got to go.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we got to hurry up.
So this is 2 hours, 40 minutes.
2 hours, 40 minutes.
Done.
Is this your longest one?
I think it's close.
Okay.
It's probably up there.
Yeah.
It depends how much I remove.
Yeah, true. Thank you.